All right, let's dive into these games, guys. It is time for the Chobo Team League. These guys maybe not coming from quite the comic book upbringing backstory like Maynarde has, living in the depths of South Australia, but here to fight nonetheless for their teams. Of course, down here in the bottom left, representing Team Unrivaled, it is Camaril.
Camaril. Good to see him play here in the top right. His opponent in the orange. Oops, I just had a frame drop there. This is Axis.
Of course, representing AlphaX now. You'd be like, why is that not an X? That's a B. You can only actually have 100 players in a clan in StarCraft 2. It's the same reason we have a Pig 2 clan for my clan. They're not a lower tier. They're not B-grade citizens. They just happen to not have fit in the first clan, so you have to add other clan tags, and you have different, sections of it. We wish Blizzard would make it a bit bigger, but us big clans, we just end up overflowing. And despite purging inactive members frequently and stuff like that, we have to always have, most clans have to have 2 or 3 clan tags, and we'll see how that goes. So anyways, let's quickly read out those speeches, shall we, while we look at this early game. So we've got a speech here that got messaged to me by the lovely Sniper SCCA. Said, here is the AlphaX speech to the CTL finals, and I like to imagine right now he's riding up and down the battle line on his horse, reading this out for his players.
Face half painted in blue.
He says, last year, AlphaX made a statement in its opening CTL season. We finished in the top 4 of our debut season, showing we were a force to be reckoned with. 4th place, however, was not enough. We were hungry for more, for better. We had dragon sickness for victory. From day 1 of this new season, we showed up. We had the best win-loss differential in the league. We came first in our group, winning 3/4 of our regular season matches and only losing 2 by the skin of our teeth. We threw everything we had at our opponents, from cannon rushes to matching Marines. We used every kind of play in the playbook. Mistakes were made, walls were compromised, clicks were missed. Yet through all the nerves and busy schedules, our players gave their best. We made a deeper run in the playoffs than the year before, showing that AlphaX never rests, only improves. We gave more, and we received more. We made it to the finals. Our players are proud of this amazing accomplishment, but our view is not so short-sighted. This season is not the end. There will be more to follow. With our hearts happy from today, our eyes are set on the future. We want our name to fill the record books, not just appear in them. We celebrate our accomplishment here today, and at the same time use it as training for a more legendary future. We are AlphaX, the dragons of competitive SC2.
Damn. I mean, the battle would have me drilling that adrenaline into me as William Wallace runs front and back in front of me with that speech. But I gotta say, I'd be checking my watch about partway through that. Like, are we actually fighting the English in a second, William? But
the Reaper.
That's pretty epic, man. Yeah, Reaper getting chased down by that Ling, but Camaril gets his hands back on the keyboard and keeps that Reaper alive. Nicely done by Camaril, who is apparently, and I was looking at this document, a 6-0 score in current season in CTL. He's an absolute monster. Apparently a veteran of 10 seasons.
Holy
and that's
crap.
why I recognize that name.
Exactly. I'm like, I know we've cast Camaril before, man. That's a name that rings a bell. I'm not sure if I've actually cast Axis before. Definitely a name that kind of comes out, but definitely some good stats, of course, for both players. 6-0 for Camaril, regular season. Veteran of 10. Switch to Terran because it's the only fun race, apparently.
Yeah, I really like how he's playing Zen, by the way, which is a map that a lot of people don't want to play on, but this is actually a really decent map for exactly what Camaril is doing, which is... well, I mean, he's killing drones, which is normally what Zen is good, not what Zen is good for, because it's a hard to get Hellion run-bys in there, but he gets 4 drones, which is really, really nice to Terran. He's going for BCs. There's a lot of dead space here on Zen, where the BC is completely safe unless you have an air unit.
And these Hellions going to get a creep tumor as well here. So far, just one Hellion's gone down. One more does fall. The Ling's getting a little bit of revenge, and I think Camaril might have to run home now, as that Ling count's a little scary. But more Hellions arrive, so going to continue that pressure, and this has really got under the skin of Axis, who's struggling at just 21 workers right now. So it's actually a little bit rough here. So this is a platinum set, by the way. So I'm not sure is the gold set disappeared? Did they remove that, or is it both players got ranked up?
I'm not sure. The document says it starts at Plat 3.
Okay, maybe they must have moved the ranking up. I know they were for a long time struggling to find gold players. Obviously, if you're in like gold, you can still punch up and be the representative in the Plat 3 division. Absolutely. So it still works out quite nicely. I mean, we've talked about it in the past. Usually, all the teams would be in our chat during the CTL finals, just going, guys, if you're in low leagues, please, we need a gold player. We can't field a full roster and we keep having to forfeit matches. And then they recruit someone, and like 3 weeks later, they make it to plat. Like, people just improve so fast once they got some competitive matches to aim towards. And oh man, the Bernie continues. These Hellions being microed very nicely so far.
Yeah, trying to get some more barbecue here on the grill. And not that many lings, although some are hatching for Axis right now. But damn, there's going to be a few dead drones here, especially if he target fires. At the moment, he's just attacking the Queen, so I think he's just left the Hellions to their own devices. But 7 drones go down, and considering the start of this game, like you mentioned, Axis is down, like he's still only on 22 workers.
He's building Hydras off 22 workers as well. I mean, obviously worried about the BCs, right? I think probably went into this knowing there's BCs. You see there's 2 spores in the main, but there's no spore in the natural. The worker count has been just really crushed, and I'm looking at this and I'm saying this is definitely a big lead for Camaril. For Axis, you're going to need something like a big Ling run by, just taking out a ton of SCVs, because economically, Axis is kind of like the legs are being chopped out. He's just kind of dragging himself along on his hands right now.
Yeah, and he's gonna need Camaril to stand still so he can bite his ankles, because it is going to be very, very hard for Axis to come back at this point. Hydras are like one of the worst things you could actually use punch for punch against the BC, because as we just saw, 2 Hydras ran into the BC and the BC killed it and still had over a third of its life even with the Queen's assisting. And the BC doesn't give a shit about small amounts of Hydras. It'll fly over them and kill them.
That actually is one of those ongoing things, right? Where even with upgrades, like Hydras struggle, and with no upgrades, it's like, oh man, the BC just leaves when it feels like that unit's lost tab. I mean, it's about a 2-to-1 loss ratio for Camaril, but also 11 workers. And that's huge right now. You've got about double the economy once this 3rd base is landing for Camaril. And we've just got a Zerg player who's really going to need to just survive for the next 10 minutes and slowly drag their way back into this game.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, normally, if you have a better economy, you can trade worse and be okay. Like, it's not great, but you can be okay. But if you're trading worse and your opponent has 13 more workers than you and they're like a Terran, this is there is no advantage right now for Axis that I can see. He would need a miracle engagement and to not take any damage from further BC run by. Speaking of which, there is a double BC now. Twice the threat of a single BC, as you would imagine, Pig. Heading through the middle of the map here towards that 3rd base.
Yeah, 5 Queens do have a lot of energy banked up on them, but without a Spore Crawler at that 3rd, I mean, Hydras are going to help. You can definitely potentially hang on here. They're going to have Muscular Augment soon, but Axis needs to quickly pull all the units together to deal with this. This is a tough fight coming up here.
Yeah, these 2 capital ships take quite a beating, and they got repaired up earlier as well with the last BC. Their tactical jumped back home and got repaired. And this is tough, man. Like, they don't have Yamato, but they don't need Yamato. The Queens are dead, and these Hydras are trying their best, but again, like, these BCs actually win this fight. He's being careful, but he doesn't have to be.
Yeah, and oh man, those Hydras. I mean, even though they damaged that one, ooh, can they get it? Can they get it? Can they get
yes,
it?
They can. One goes down. All right.
Very nice. That is something. Definitely needed that, hey.
Yeah.
This is rough.
I mean, 1 BC for 11 Hydralisks. I'd be okay with that trade as Camaril. Obviously, if he was a little bit more careful, he could have kept both of them alive there and killed all the Hydras. Axis finally bites the bullet and drops a Spire, but look at that bank right now for the Zerg. Look at that sad-looking 3rd mineral line. There's nothing mining there. And if he's going to try and get Spire units here to deal with the BCs, there's 2 very healthy BCs heading towards him again, by the way. He's not getting him any breathing room. Camaril's playing this very well. You know, you want to get Corruptors out right now, but
yeah,
Camaril's also been making a ground army with 1-1 upgrades. So
oh man, yeah, it's a big bio macro transition. 63 SCVs behind this. Like, this is insane. Camaril is all over this game and continuing to pressure here. But like, I actually really love how conservative it is. You know, as much as the BCs could be doing more, Camaril's macroing well behind it. Like, the bank has been staying down for Platinum. This is really good macro behind the aggression. I mean, it's partly because Axis just hasn't really been able to scare him at any moment. There's nothing interrupting Camaril's flow. Something like a Ling run by hitting the mineral line on the 3rd would have been nice during all this. Baneling's rolling in, but it's a 42 drone Zerg. We got 150 supply Terran. The only worry I have for Camaril is just waiting too long. You know, sometimes players get ahead like this, and the best thing you can do is... Camaril knows the plan.
Yeah,
push across that map. Use that advantage while you've got it.
Yeah, you don't want to be a Bond villain. You just want to sit there and tell them your whole speech while a laser slowly like painfully cuts through a table from 3 feet away that will hit your leg eventually in a year. You actually just walk up to the opponent and put a bullet in their head. That's how you win as a Bond villain. You shoot Bond in the face and you call it a day. And your plan works and you rule the world. And Camarilla working towards shooting the head of Axis right now with that big bio army.
Yeah.
And then when we're talking about that ground army, let's talk about that ground army right now for the Zerg Pig. It is 9 Banelings, 10 Hydras, and 1 Zergling. And that is not enough.
The bio's going a little far forward here. There is hope for... Oh, no speed. No speed on the Banes. Oh, never mind. Never mind. I was like, there's hope for getting the big club for bio with the Banes, but... Oh, no way, man. That bio's stimming in. There's no medevacs here, so they are kind of starting to become a before and after don't do drugs, not even once photo, you know, these Marines, but it's enough. They've done the damage.
Yeah, this is your brain on stim. Camarilla gets the victory there for Team Unrivaled. Nicely played. Well done, Camarilla. I think that record, so the record, I guess, goes up to 7-0.
You know, yeah, that's a big, great win there to start off the team for Team Unrivaled. And of course, Team Unrivaled didn't have quite the same battle speech. So what we're seeing here is a dichotomy of two very different teams. AlphaX, we're like, we're the dragon blood and we're going to win. And maybe, you know, despite that rousing speech, we're not able to bring it in the first match. They are down 1 game. Glad to hear some clapping coming in as well. Yes, we do have an applause bot. While we're all stuck at home in coronavirus isolation, yes, you guys can PogChamp to clap. I would appreciate you not abusing it too much, but I think that was a nice, respectable little clap there for game 1. Let's read out Team UR's little battle speech, which is much more collected as we get into map number 2. Team UR made the playoffs in first seed. They had a score of 7 wins. Bit too much clapping. I'll wait till the clapping dies down before I continue. Fear Dragon, shout out to him for making this bot, by the way. For those of you who don't know, he did turn it off because he found it annoying after not too long. I'm sticking with it. He's actually been updating it. It has a volume control and so on and so forth. It's pretty cool. So let's finish reading that really quickly. They actually had a map score of 42 wins, 42 losses after a first round bye. So Team UR has had a lot more close matches. They actually defeated Taste the Bacon in a 4-3 score.
Oh my God.
Advanced to the finals. Absolute douchebags. Who the hell would kill a bunch of lovely people? And to keep...
We're trying to think of a word to describe your subscribers or not, like your clan.
Yeah, I know. I'm like
those lovely people.
I'm like people who thrive on making other people uncomfortable, are a little obsessed with dick jokes, love talking about balls whenever there's disruptor on the screen. Yeah. Like we're a bunch of real normal people that are in the pig clan for sure.
They moved to Dicktown, bought some property, building a house, starting a family.
You know what's cool? These teams were in opposite groups, so they actually never played in the regular season as well. So that's actually kind of cool. They both kind of dominated, you know, their different sides of the tournament and come through it in a different situation. Now, that's a quick second barracks here for Falmir. Up here in the top right, representing AlphaX, it's Falmir.
Falmir might be going for some time strats here. And in the bottom left... from Team UR, aka Unrivaled, currently up in the series, it is Squiggles with a capital GG because that's good manners.
Oh, diddly damn. Falmir does come in with a nice early scout. Says, okay, expand on the low ground. Yeah, I'm gonna get over here with some... Oh, is this a double? Oh, is it gonna be 2 reactors? Mass Reaper, I think.
Oh my God.
This is the team game build.
Yeah. This is that map that is like a dark tile set where you're split up in a 2v2 and you have that trough in the middle. Oh, it's just the 1 reactor. Okay.
Oh, no, there we go. Changes the mind there.
This is the when you have a giant cliff main 2v2 build.
Yes. I believe if I talk to like a Euthermal or someone who's a master of 3x Reaper, they'd say this is slightly less efficient because it gets going a little later. But I find this is an easier to execute version because you can just kind of get your reactors going and then it doesn't hit as fast, but the sustained Reaper production is insane. Like once you hit, it's out of control.
Look at this blind reaction from Squiggles, by the way. Bunker in the main.
Welcome to team games.
Games.
Or also clan matches. To the you know, whenever you're looking at these clan matches, and we've still like remember SC Swarm when they made their debut into into CTL, made it straight to the finals. It's like every game was a different Zerg cheese. And we were like, oh, okay.
That was the team that was purely Zerg, right?
Yes, yeah. They had one Terran player always, I believe. But
yeah, he was
their whole
one of these things is not like the other.
Exactly. And their whole clan was based around a website, which is about like, hey, let's learn Zerg. Let's have a big depository of Zerg build orders. Well, they were very tight build orders that were kind of set. They weren't very reactive, and they were almost all very sharp timing attacks. And we saw players get caught off over and over. It seems like I think players are starting to realize that these finals, there's a lot of aggression, a lot of cheese in them. You got to be careful. Now, this first Reaper comes in. You got to be wary about leaving your bunker behind.
Yeah,
because
you usually have one unit in there because you see 2 Reapers, there's more behind it.
Get back in the bunker, You gotta get in the bunker, get in the bunker, Squiggles! Ooh, actually gets that Reaper as well. Yeah. Not bad.
Yeah, very, very nice. Now, the natural is left quite exposed. The SCV is still down here. Mining was very, very greedy there from Squiggles. He's going to have 2 more Marines popping out, which actually can win the fight against the Reapers, but looks like he's just going to evacuate the natural, which I think is also, not a bad call. He can still fully saturate the main base.
Apparently...
Falmir really wants to make this ramp happen, but that is a bad move there from Falmir.
Oh, get out of the tank range. You know what? The tank siege too far back. Now they've got an opportunity to start getting a bit of momentum. There is a CC that's finished on the low ground behind this for Falmir. So, it's not all in. And now that the damage starts to build up, this tank taking too long, those SCVs just not reacting. That's a lot of worker kills. Yeah,
there we go. Falmir finding that angle. Now, the Reapers are in hold position, so they will go down to that tank. But 8 SCVs, you're absolutely right. And having that natural up and running is really, 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 really sweet.
Okay, does catch the rally. I really want to see that rally get fixed. It has now been fixed. But Reapers find an exposed natural mineral line. Falmir getting some momentum going. Hot diddly damn.
Found that angle, and all of these SCVs from Bruce from earlier. So they are ripe for the pickings here on this double Reaper. Squiggles is not reacting here.
So much damage with these Reapers. Oh, Squiggles. Was actually queuing a Liberator across the map there. Oh, no. Not the right priority, and is now down 10 workers. The orbital is finished on the other side of the map, so a good economic lead for Falmir. This Liberator, she's got to kill a lot of workers. Like, don't go for the military targets. I want you on that mineral line murdering.
Yeah, she needs to go for civilians here. We need to cleanse this main of all civilians because the army has done a little bit too much for Falmir so far as Squiggles is concerned.
Take the means of production. And a nice siege up there. Quick reaction, though, from Falmir.
Yeah, good reaction.
Marines heading back up. They are unupgraded Marines, though. Not the best for chasing this down. So Squiggles going to do another siege a little bit deeper, but the Marines are already almost there. Finds only a single SCV. Can it get out? Nice reaction. Squiggle actually does escape. Denies a fair bit of mining. Well done.
Yep, he has this edge of the map. Oh, no.
Too deep. Way too deep.
He could have saved the Liberator there by just tucking it into the far right corner where he's out of range of the Marines. But, yeah.
It's really hard to place that circle on the edge, right? Because you kind of have this drop-off just off the cliff. So you can move your mouse slightly and it can drastically change where that siege up zone goes. So it does go down, but you know what? Non-stop SCV production behind it. And, I mean, the player description here for Squiggles has only been playing StarCraft 2 for 6 months, which is awesome, and demands to play macro at every turn is the description that I've been given of Squiggles' play. So, the safety bunker with no scout on the high ground, a quick third CC already going to land, and non-stop worker production. So even though taking some punches, you can see that Squiggles just kind of determined beelining to the next step of the game, continuing to build Marines, tanks, SCVs, is actually still in a relatively evenish situation. I mean, a better mobile army for Falmir with like Stim Marines coming out in large numbers, but still a good force for Squiggles, and just has to be careful of those Stim Marines because there are no upgrades on Squiggles Marines right now.
Oh no, the medevac leading the charge, going to fly over these Marines and get gunned down there. And Squiggles, this is a bit of an anti-timing. Yes, he has tanks, but he's up against Marines that have +1 attack and Stim and medevac support. The tanks are exposed. Tries to get that one down there, and these Stim Marines don't care about these unupgraded Marines at all.
Ooh, one tank in the back does finally get up, and it will save the day there.
Certainly will. And keep in mind that there is no combat shield or stem here for Squiggles. This is a rough time to move out. I think that if you move out like this, you got a Raven with you, maybe a Viking or something like that, or that Liberator from earlier. Imagine if that Liberator was still alive. You can really make something happen on that natural of Falmir while taking a third behind it. But right now, it's looking rough for Squiggles.
Oh, the fuck squad on the left. Those Marines, if they kept going in, they would have caught the command center that was just starting. That's like one of those things where you send off this random counterattack. It would have hit at the perfect moment. but a little bit of an F2 move home, I think, there as the tanks were coming back, and Squiggles does miss an opportunity to do big economic damage, but still equal workers, has the third base, dropping mules a lot faster, and has finally got a tech lab up on the barracks, and is going to be adding, oh my god, going up into a second factory, 5 barracks already. No engineering bays or anything like that, though.
Okay.
And I kind of feel like the mobility for Falmir can start dropping, which, ooh, left-hand side, here comes one. This can be big.
It's dropping 6 or so Marines down here on that mineral line, and with Stim, they're going to cut through these SCVs like a hot knife through butter. Squiggles is coming back home with those tanks and with these Marines to defend.
Nice
and it feels
drop.
like, if Squiggles is watching this, constant SCV production and really having that Stim timing down pat. Like, I don't know if he's following like a specific build order, but this is an incredibly late Stim. In fact, he's going for Combat Shield first here, which is definitely not something I would recommend in TVT. But there's like, this is a very solid play for a guy that's only been playing for 6 months. He's already in Platinum, clearly. That's really impressive. I think just a couple things like building SCVs and making sure that, the correct parts of your technology are prioritized. I think you would start crushing faces and you wouldn't be Platinum that much longer.
I mean, this is cool because you're seeing a different style of player. Falmir has not been hitting the macro nearly as consistently as Squiggles, but has been aggressive and has been in the face. We see another attack moving forward, wants to take control of the watchtower. This drop has just been dancing around and really keeping Squiggles occupied. So Falmir just looking for an opening. I think if Squiggles has a bit of time, Squiggles is going to run away with this game, but Falmir is not giving it. Another Stim, though. These Marines very wounded. That was the 3rd Stim on this army from Falmir, and that is some deadly drug use. They are going to find an opening, though. The tank gets sieged.
Yeah, and unfortunately the tanks being sieged was a problem for Squiggles as he didn't have any. Stim Marines actually break that line. The tank is still alive. It's got 4 kills.
Go Marauder, go Marauder. Oh my god.
The Marauder doesn't have Stim, man. It's not going to be able to chase down this tank. Imagine a slow Marauder walking towards a siege tank. Vikings he could land.
Oh man, but the whole mineral line, one of Squiggles' biggest weaknesses against Falmir's non-stop harass has been not pulling those workers from the mineral line. Just a few moments here where, if they did pull away, it would have been a bit nicer. Finally, the tank's cleared up. That tank will stabilize. Squiggles still has a bit of bank, does have shields, doesn't have any engineering bays or anything like that just yet, but we'll slowly be able to clean this up. The problem, of course, is that Falmir has another army starting to move across the map, and these Marines continuing to deal damage.
And Stim has not been started yet, Pig. It's 10.5 minutes. We still don't have a Stim from Squiggles. Combat Shield is nice. Gives your Marines an extra 10 hit points each. So that's a big deal if you have a lot of Marines. But without Stim, that mobility and the extra DPS that you need to cut through your opponent's Stim Marines and get into the tank is just not really there. Thankfully for Squiggles, Falmir has forgotten Combat Shield. So there is a world where he could potentially cut through those weaker Marines. Oh, those tanks at the 3rd base, just not enough on their own to hold on to this base.
Run the SCVs. Got to get out of there. Got to lift that command center. Oh no, the command center. I mean, there's a tank just there, but I don't know. He's got to start repairing now if he wants any chance of holding on to this. That 3rd CC, it's burning. It's burning. It's down to just 30 hit points. He's building another CC. He's got to repair it. Will he get it? And he does get the repair down just in time.
Nicely done here from Squiggles. And he is holding on, but it is starting to slip out of his control here as Falmir's economy back at home is looking really healthy. 44 workers. I mean, that's not as high as it could be, but it's still pretty damn high compared to his opponent. He's taking a lot of damage, a lot of blows to face. And there's that combat shield for Falmir as well. Gone, but not forgotten. Finally on the way here for Falmir. And it's a quick upgrade and a cheap one, so it won't take too long for him to kick it in.
Yeah, Falmir's backing off the aggression, says, okay, I've pushed you back to 2 base. Let's actually properly saturate my 3rd. So Falmir's going to that next step. Has forgotten the armory as well. So no 2-2 on the way and has been doing a good job with the aggression. But, I mean, you can bully your opponent all game long in TVT. All it takes is getting over eager one time and just walking into a choke point against a bunch of siege tanks. And this can turn around. Shields is not quite ready. Yeah, it's a big army coming. And there's definitely angles, but right now, keep in mind, there are safety tanks. There's one on the high ground of the main, there's one at the 3rd. Squiggles definitely needs to bring more units down to the front. Is so blind on the map right now. But if Squiggles gets the siege up, can definitely hang on here. Oh, Vikings up front. Oh!
One full medevac gets picked off there. That's 10 supply down just like that. He's right in the middle of a
no. This is a doom drop of the wrong kind, I think. These Marines are getting smashed. They finally clear out the main, but there's only 4 Marines left at the front. A single tank does still stand for Falmir, but the Vikings, they land. They got to get over there. Those 4 Marines get 6 SCVs, but I mean, that was the doom drop where he drops his Marines to their own doom. That was a psychotic maneuver from Falmir. And as I said, you can feel like you're bullying your opponent and you could be like, why don't you leave? Like, get out of my game. You should be dead now. I keep winning fights, but it just takes one kind of over-eager headbutt into your opponent's army like that, and suddenly we see the supply is relatively even. Now, Falmir's got a 4th base going up on location, has 20 more workers, still has the 1-1 upgrade advantage, is now starting the armory. So these are all good things, but it just needs to kind of make sure that Falmir is a bit more careful with the next few engagements. Can't headbutt like that too often.
Yeah, even with a massive lead. Oh, and that's an early stim there from Falmir, sending those Marines through the middle of the map. They're gonna run out of stim before they get anywhere near anything. But yeah, if you keep throwing your army away over and over again, Squiggles is going to have he already has a much bigger army while he's still catching up in upgrades. I mean, there's still no engineering bay research here. He's got an engineering bay, but no upgrades on it. And stim's still not done. The 13-minute mark.
This is a much more careful push. I like this from Falmir. Just looking to find an angle. The Marines going to take out that 1 siege tank up front, and then I'd love to see them just pull back and go for the command center. Yeah, a lovely push. Very calculated, very calm. Just keeps picking off exposed tanks and pulling back. Uses the siege tank in range of the orbital. Says, hey, I'm the one with position here. I will snap that orbital, grab a few SCVs, and that's all I need. I'm just getting further ahead. I'm the one on 4 base. You're the one on 2 base. I am just asserting dominance in this game.
That's right, and Squiggles has forgotten the safety word. We're going to drop into the main base here. That's just 1 Viking and a bunch of Marines without stim looking to engage. You should be able to clean this up. That's plenty of Marines here. Again, losing SCVs is something that Squiggles cannot afford. 68 workers for Falmir on his side of the map, with Squiggles rocking a paltry 35. He does have another command center that he built during the first attack on the 3rd that he can float on over there and retake it, but those tanks are still there and those Marines are still there.
Yeah, Squiggles has been very blind this game and has a really weird production setup with 2 factories and 2 starports. It's kind of mass-producing Vikings and Medevacs. Not the most useful unit right now. There's still no bio upgrades, so it's this kind of weird mix of units from Squiggles, which doesn't quite mesh. Falmir's game plan, you can tell, much tighter. So, I mean, Squiggles does kind of regain control of this base, still has a decent army, but that army's getting worse the longer this game goes, right? Like, we've got a single eBay adding bio upgrades, so he's going to get to 1-1 about the same time that Falmir gets to 2-2.
Yeah, which is a devastating difference. This is a mirror matchup, and everyone's using the same tools, and if your opponent just has better upgraded stuff, it's just, it's hard to start winning battles. You really got to be where your opponent's army is not. These 2 tanks left a little bit exposed here. They're moving out on their own. Looks like his army's split up.
I think Falmir is just going to pounce on this. Once again, has that Marine advantage, 42-37, and the upgrade advantage, has the extra armor upgrade at this moment, snaps the Vikings. He's got to be careful, though. That's a big army from Squiggles. I think as long as he pulls out a siege tank range, Falmir's okay, but Falmir just going to say, look, let's back off for now. Ooh, the Medevac's not boosting. And it looks like all those Medevacs will go down, but remember, Squiggles a little bit trigger happy on that stim as well. Should really pull back and let these Marines heal up now. He's got to give them a moment to recover.
Oh, looks like he wants to fight.
Uh-oh.
Marines from Falmir, but coming up from the right side with reinforcements. Oh, no, Squiggles is leaving the Marines to their own devices. They're getting gunned down there by Falmir's stronger Marines. I mean, you got to look at the banks right now at the bottom of the screen and just realize that Squiggles has been taking some nice fights, and he is still holding on, but he is running out of steam here, guys. He doesn't have anywhere near the gas income that Falmir has. Plus side for Squiggles is that Falmir isn't spending that money super well, so there is still thousands in the bank. And Squiggles is kind of hand to mouth. Like, as he earns it, it gets spent immediately. But look at that Marine production difference. 9 Marines on the production tab at the moment for Falmir. Squiggles at the moment cutting Marine production, and he desperately needs more.
Oh, where's the tanks? Look at this scan. Sees the armies on the left, stims down the right. Falmir has been in control all game long and wants to drive it home once again. Gonna find the 3rd undefended, and at this point I think Squiggles has to come home, but it's too late. The tank's rallying into the open, just not quick enough to respond, and Falmir using mobility and using the power of this mass Marine army all game. Those Marines running into an arc of death and destruction.
Yeah, that is it right there. Getting all the medevacs, getting those siege tanks. The army of Squiggles is locked in the middle of the map with nowhere to go and no home to return to. They're going to try, though. In come those tanks, but they are being sieged at from the high ground. This is a low ground position for these tanks. Using the Vikings for high ground is getting some Marine kills here, but the writing is on the wall. He has knocked Squiggles down to 1 base, and Falmir is on literally 5 in a second here.
That's just some deadly play. A Marine flank comes in here for Falmir as well. Doesn't quite take out those tanks. Is getting a little excited.
Medevac here. There's the GG from Squiggles.
Yeah.
A valiant effort, but Falmir is going to tie things up. 1 apiece here for Alpha versus Team UR.
Yeah, I mean, that was some good play from Squiggles. But just a bit of a tighter follow-up there from Falmir. And sorry, guys, did I have the scoreboard wrong there? I think I accidentally flipped it at some point when I was zooming in and out. I flipped the scoreboard. So that should be 1-1, right? Since it was Team UR that won the first one. Camarilla won that first game, and we just saw Falmir. So I think I just accidentally flipped the scoreboard upside down. Apologies for that, guys. That was just me being a bit confused. I was like, wait, what happened there? It is indeed 1-1 now. So we are going to be going into that third set. GG, well played, though. Yeah, it's this funny thing where, especially in the chaos, you can kind of lose track of where you are. And we saw, what was it, like the second factory and the second starport went down super duper early, where I think if we saw just kind of tank siege across those bases, and if we saw like missile turrets go up and that sort of stuff, and some bio upgrades, and then go into more factories and tanks, I think Squiggles would have been able to stabilize for sure.
Yeah,
but because
so close to having like a really solid TVT.
Yeah,
so close.
And even at the end, might have been able to get back in that game, right? It was just kind of a matter of, it's like, well, you're almost there, but then you don't have map vision, and just as you move out, your opponent keeps swinging in. So good use of the map control there. And it ties up the series. We're going to go into map 3 up here in the top left-hand side. Representing AlphaX, it is Mythic Dawn.
Certainly is. And in the bottom right, from Team UR, it's Missing No.
Missing No. It's an interesting name. I'm just going to call Missing or No. I'm not sure. We'll see which one comes out in the heat of the action.
Number? Maybe.
Missing number?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
Now,
so proxy barracks here.
Yeah, proxy barracks, no
At least,
gas. So
yeah.
I think maybe 2 or 3.
Could always use that first SCV to add the third barracks after the first 2. Double racks on 16. Now, we could still see just the old 2 racks Maru style, where they take a gas about now as well, and then you go into a factory behind it. So it's like, it's a marine bunker pressure that can win the game, but you've got a much faster Hellion Banshee transition behind it. There's a lot of ways to follow it up, of course. We'll have to keep our eyes, but with just 2 SCVs over there so far, there we go. Gas going down. Yeah. So Mythic Dawn's going to try and transition out of this. So it's going to be a marine bunker pressure into that. Now it is hatch first for Missing, and the Overlord's going straight across the map. Oh, a greedy second Overlord. There's a reason that second Overlord sits out front the natural. When you watch Serral play, it's because he wants to see this SCV come in and start building that bunker so he can pull drones. Missing has no idea about this bunker. That's going to be finished by the time he realizes it's there.
Yeah, that is unfortunate here. The Zerg just unaware of the danger within to the north side. Good start here on paper for Mythic Dawn. Still keeping those Marines at bay as well. He doesn't want to tip his hand to the Zerg and get those drones pulled before the bunker is done. And with this bunker done, the next bunker could be right next to that natural before that creep gets out there. So this is very annoying. And there it is.
Apparently it's a typo of Missingo, the Pokemon. Okay. Nice to have some Weeb references here, guys. Well, Missing now suddenly, as the hatch finishes, goes, oh shit, what the hell? There's Marines in a bunker in my base. He's going to pull drones, but there's already a finished bunker. Uh-oh. No. Missing, you got to get out of there, buddy. Is going for the SCV. The Marines taking a little while to defend that Drilly Boy, but the Drilly Boy does do a little shift to the side. The drones take it out, but oh, that's a expensive tax you're paying there. 4 drones just to slow down a bunker. It gets finished anyway seconds later. This is a rough start for the Zerg player.
Certainly is. Stuff's looking great here for Mythic Dawn. Missing No taking that natural. I think we're going to have a Missing natural in a second here. He doesn't really have anything that can save it. He's making a spine crawler on the high ground, but by the time that's done, the natural will be dead. The Marines DPSing the hell out of it. That bunker is covered in Zerg poop, but it doesn't really care because it's loaded with shooty boys peppering that natural. So
chat's angry at me. It's not Pokemon. Pokemon's not Weeb. Okay, sorry guys. Virgin is the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
Apologies.
Yeah.
No worries.
Shout out to all you guys, including myself, that are not affected at all by coronavirus because you don't leave the house anyway.
Hi-oh.
My dog is super upset about this natural going down. I think he's the Zerg main.
Loki. Wait, guys. I actually have been studying dog recently. I've been going to classes with my local dog whisperer. Yeah. So let me try and translate. I think Loki's saying, what is that? It's the win rate of 2/3 racks is absolutely insane.
Yeah. It's an old joke, but my dog just got Twitter and he's quite young. You know, kids are like, they're like, oh yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Moana's still the greatest Disney movie. Like, he won't stop watching it. He's just all about these old jokes. He's like, Dad, have you heard this one? I'm like, yes, Loki. I've been in StarCraft for 10 years.
Does he ask for the Szechuan sauce every time you take him to McDonald's and then
Szechuan
shouts,
sauce.
"I'm Pickle Rick" and starts screeching? Yeah, I think that's still funny.
Like, I want to get a Pickle Rick tattoo, and I'm like, Loki, you're 4. It's not even, isn't even a discussion. I'll turn this car right around.
Well, it is going to stabilize from here, but that hatchery is going to take a long time to get down for the Zerg player, Missingo. So Missingo, I'd like to see a third hatch go down immediately as well. There's pulled 3 drones down. He's going to go for that third. Okay, so he's going to try to bounce up to 3 base to recover, but man, losing Overlords is rough right now.
Certainly is. Means he can't really produce anything. So this next round of drones, Mythic Dawn when you're a Terran, we saw it in game 1. When you're Terran and you're ahead this far in work account versus the Zerg, it's really, really nice. I mean, the natural isn't on location, so it's not like he has the perfect mining at the moment, but he will in a second. You know, having a natural before the Zerg is absolutely awesome. There is an army for Missing No, but he's not really using it to slow down the Terran. He's keeping it at home because he's afraid of having his natural denied again.
And I mean, definitely, cheering for that Zerg going back up to 3 base is Loki, and as are a lot of the Team UR fans. Team Unrivaled has definitely been putting up a good fight so far. The Marine tank going to move down, so you can tell Mythic Dawn was playing the super safe follow-up, saying, just in case there's like a 1 base all-in, I'll play really safe. And this is my favorite move, which I did for a long time when I was first playing Terran, probably my first year of playing Terran, where I'd be like, cool, I'm safe against the all-in, and then I move all my shit unsieged to go sit out front my natural, and that's when 50 speedlings run in and kill my army and win the game. I'd be like, what? Why'd you wait so long? I thought you must be macroing. And they're like, I don't know, man. I just took a while to pull the trigger. And I'm like, fudge. Thankfully, Mythic Dawn's not going to get caught out by that in this case, because those tanks and Marines are awfully exposed right now.
Yeah, Missing No is just chilling at home, double expanded, and really wants to make sure it gets up without too much of a fuss. Banshee heading towards the main base here of the Zerg, which has no Spore Crawler, but it does have a Queen, and there's no Cloak just yet. Is that an infestation pit? Doth my eyes deceive me? We have an infestation pit coming down here for Missing No on 26 workers. Are we seeing a swarm host Mima here?
I'm not sure. I think we very well may. It could be Ultralisks, because I've consulted our document with the player info, the player stats.
Okay.
Now, this should be a Diamond 3, according to this. Diamond 2 or 3. And the Team UR player is known as Sean Ultralisk Collins.
Wow.
2-2 in the regular season, and apparently loves... It is going to be... Oh my god. It's going to be 30 drone Ultralisk. What a legend! Oh, but no Spore in the main. Oh man, these Banshees.
Banshees.
There is Harassment Squad. This here is a Fuck Squad. They are going to destroy this mineral line.
Lord Fuck Squad was the bad guy from Shrek. The Banshees actually have nothing to deal with them here. There's no Overseer being started yet for Missing No as well. It's just a late reaction to these Banshees, which really don't need to be microed at all. They are actually just doing God's work right now for the Terran race as they start shooting down that hive.
Oh my god, doing some good damage there, forcing the units down to the natural. The 4 Queens, the Overseer going to come up. You know what? Damage to the hive, not really worth that much. It's mostly the mining time. So I guess the upside is this could have been worse for Missing No. But going to come up, clean up those Banshees. Slow reaction from Mythic Dawn, trying to escape the last one. Oof.
Ooh. And you know what? 2 Cloaked Banshees for 7 drones. It's nice, especially considering the economy of Missing No is not great.
Uh-oh.
But it's not game ending. This ground push, though, that could potentially be game ending.
I mean, Stim and 1-1 are still about 30 seconds away, so I kind of want to see Mythic Dawn kill the hatch and pull back. It's a little bit of an awkward moment, but there's only drones in production. There's 12 Zerglings and 5 Queens and a Ravager. The army right now is non-existent, and Mythic Dawn sees that and is like, yeah, I'm going to keep pushing, mate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he ain't afraid of these lings. These unupgraded lings, not a problem for him. The Queen's coming forward, but those 2 tanks are beating those ladies back. Overseer goes down as well. Lings coming in from the south side. Looks like they just hatched from that recently destroyed 3rd base.
Oh, those upgrades all kicking in. The bio is very weak, but the upgrades are here. The tanks are sieged. And they just need to keep these tanks alive for a few seconds longer. 1 tank does fall. Another tank not even bothering to siege. The last vestiges of the Zerg defense are falling. The drones are going to need to be pulled into this. The Zerglings would love to pull some friendly fire onto the Terran units. But, I mean, I love this choice from Mythic Dawn. Caesar Hive is like, oh, fuck no, I'm not playing versus Ultralisks. It just goes.
Yeah, his bio is getting splash damage for 1 of his own siege tanks, but thankfully he's doing way more damage to the Zerg than he's doing to himself. Kills his own tank. But, you know what? I don't think we're going to be seeing ultras this game, Pig. I do believe Mythic Dawn has done what we call finding the nuts.
I mean, it all comes back to having no Overlord at the natural at the start, right? If you don't realize that bunker rush is happening until the bunker's finished with Marines in it, like, good luck getting out of that without being behind. That is a rough situation. So, you know what? The Overlords there were too eager to have a perv. They wanted to go across the map. They didn't want to wait there for a chance of getting to perv on some SCVs and Marines coming into the base. They were like, fudge that. We are diving across this map and trying to take the fight to the enemy. So, GG, well played. That was, of course, a win for Team Mythic Dawn, Team AlphaX. So, 2-1 lead for AlphaX.
Mm-hmm.
A nice clap there for AlphaX, and we're getting a close series. This is exactly what we love to cast.
Hell yeah, more StarCraft is always better. Next one's featuring a fella that I know pretty well, as he's been a subscriber for a long time, Mr. Andarkt. Only a long-time UR member, long-time D2, D3 Terran.
And so that was a lead for AlphaX. So
yes,
2-1 advantage.
Yep.
All right, down here in the bottom left, looking to take it to a 3-1. It is the one and only Captain Canuck. Canuck just means, like, it's just a Canadian,
yeah,
right?
Captain Canuck, yeah.
Canuck?
A Canadian. And in the top right here, this is Andarkt. Team UR playing the purple Terran pieces.
So is Canuck like, is it like saying a bogan? Is it a type of Canadian, or is it?
I think it's like saying, instead of saying Australian, it's like saying Aussie, I think.
It's kind of like Yankee. Apparently there's the Vancouver Canucks is an ice hockey team. Yeah, but what is a Canuck or a Canuck? A Canuck.
I thought a Canuck is just like slang for a Canadian.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, like, I mean, you can't call all Americans Yankees, because there is an entire side of America that will get upset at you if you call them a Yankee.
It is just Canadian. There's no other meaning. Okay, cool.
Yeah, let's say Aussie instead of Australian.
I thought there might be another meaning to it, right? Because I always knew it just meant Canadian, but I was like, oh, it could be one of those things where it's like, you know, it has another layer to it, but apparently not. Andarkt, of course, is a part darked and part an, I guess. I'm not really sure what that is, but...
Andarkt is a German name, and I know that this guy likes his weird, eccentric black metal. So could be a reference to that. I'm pretty sure. I'm like 99% sure he's mentioned what the name's mentioned, but I've forgotten. It's early. I've only had a little bit of coffee.
Well, apparently.
Block's asking what a bogan is. A bogan is a moderator that posts a porn link in the Twitch chat.
Yes, that's pretty fucking bogan, mate.
Yeah.
Tasteless, mate. Tasteless.
There you go. A Lunar Aurora album means prayer. Thank you, Andarkt.
I mean, if anyone's seen the Bushworld Dimension Rick and Morty episode, that's a good example of bogan, right?
Yep.
That's bogans, right? If you want to explain to you in the clearest format where nothing is lost, that's it. A bit of background on the players, guys. Andarkt 5-3 win-loss ratio, long time member of Team UR. Diamond 2, Diamond 3 Terran has been around that league for a long time, enjoys hanging out there. Super flexible player, usually defensive macro styles, and for anyone out there looking to date him, apparently is a self-proclaimed origami master. Maybe it's good for
the beach conversations, candlelit dinners.
Very pertinent information. I mean, that's the sort of shit I want to know if I'm going into a match with a StarCraft opponent. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
He likes his black metal as well, so...
Black metal and origami?
Like. Oh, yeah, black metal and origami. It's like
can't put people in a box. Can't put people in a box, you know? A lot of people, you know, they wouldn't think origami goes with it, with black metal, but why not? Stargate on the way here for Canuck. And a second and third gateway. I think there is a little hole on the top of that gate. Oh, actually, I think that's... Do you reckon that's a wall-off on the top? I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either.
I think like a Marine might be able to slide through there. I don't know if a Hellion can, because you know Hellions are a little bit thicker. Same as Stalkers. Like the Depths and Marines can kind of wiggle through spots that they can't.
They do have some child-rearing hips on them. It takes a little bit to get through that. Yeah. I mean, he's not going for the Hellion here. It's just going to be Widowmine drop, so I don't know if that wall's going to play too much of a part, but...
Did you see the Stargate? He did, right? He's actually changing it up now, going Viking and Cyclone. I like that choice.
Yeah, that's the perfect response here when you go for a 1-1 opening as a Terran.
Yeah, you see Stargate, it's like It's so good when an Oracle comes in. You have a Cyclone and a Viking waiting for it. I unfortunately am the dummy against Phoenix plays where I think that defends me, and they have like 7 Phoenix, and they just kill them, and I'm like, okay, like you've got to, you know, I have this like thing in my head where a Cyclone and a Viking beats infinite air units, and that's like not the case. So we'll see if that Phoenix count escalates in this game and that scenario comes in. That's one of those like repeated mistakes I make that I get really angry at myself for, but so far, great defense from Andark. 31 SCVs. Now, great probe production out of Canuck. Like 41 probes, just chronoing, quick third. That's super smooth, man.
Yeah, non-stop probe production and chrono boost is a hell of a drug, and you'll find that your probe counts get so high that you won't know what to do with all the goddamn money that you've got. Like it's like step one is non-stop building workers and not getting supply blocks, which is unfortunately happening right now for Captain Canuck. He's stuck on 62, but he was doing so well up until that point. And step 2 is like, I have all this money, now I have to get used to spending it all. And that's when you start to become a better player. You start having a lot more things in your opponent, and you just overwhelm them from sheer macro power. Andark is looking to upset the probe count a little bit here. He's got a medevac out. Looks like it's rallied up to that Viking there. But I'm almost certain he intends to load that thing up with Widow Mines.
How many Widow Mines we got out right now? There are 3. So yeah, it looks like that should be happening. I wouldn't mind the defensive mine coming as well, to be honest. Since there's a good amount of defense here. The 3 barracks are now pumping. Shield, stim, well on the way. Reactor on the medevac. The medevac's just kind of chilling for now. You know, I don't mind that for a while. The problem is it might get caught by the Phoenix as it moves out across the map if it doesn't get going soon. And it boosts in the direction of the Phoenix. Uh-oh.
Might pass each other here as the Phoenixes are actually attacking into that natural. We got the Cyclone and a little bit of bunker action, softening those Phoenixes, but they all survive, get 2 SCVs and a big work pool as well.
Oh,
so that's
this medevac. Nice. This medevac does not like life, man. Does Andark realize?
Yes, he does. Oh,
Canuck does not, though. Canuck does not see it.
Andark saw him, but Captain Canuck did not see him. He snuck by.
Now, this is a 6-gate charge opening, so no forges yet. 7-gate, in fact, but there's going to be an insane charge timing coming across this map. +1 flyer attacks. Oh my god, Roddy must be so happy right now. But the Widow Mine drop, this is a chance for Andark to even out that economy.
Yeah, he's going to go for that mine drop. Dropping him in the main. Quick reaction there from Captain Canuck, getting 2 probes to take 1, or take 2 for the team in this case. And that's a really nice defense there from Captain Canuck.
Sees a fleet beacon as well, though, and a 2nd and 3rd Stargate.
Yeah, and there's no blink here, so the Stalkers can't gun down drops.
Is it charge into carriers, do you think? Please don't build Tempests. Please don't build Tempests.
I wonder if this is actually just like Anion Pulse Crystal Mass Phoenix. I mean, he's not still making Phoenixes, so maybe not.
It could, yeah, it could be, though. It could just be that, like, you know, he's busy doing other things, getting that 3rd saturated and so on right now. That Widow Mine drop just hung out there. The Phoenix did a really bad job. I feel like Canuck was like, Phoenix, clean up your room. They're like, all right, mom. And they just threw shit in the cupboard and then, like, just left and went out to hang out with their friends.
That's definitely how I cleaned my room when I was 8. Grab all the clothes and just shove them into the cupboard and close the door. And I'm like, look, the floor's clean.
Medevac does get sniped, but good Widow Mine drop. 8 kills there. 2 carriers are on the way. I mean, I think Zealots will be enough to take this out, but the carriers, they're the lowest priority in my opinion right now. I don't know if we should be focusing on those. I think it should be non-stop Zealots.
Yeah, I actually don't know if Zealots will be enough, Pig. There's a boy pool with these workers, with these bio units. If the boys actually kept, the boys are actually chilling there. I think they're on strike.
Uh-oh.
The union's calling.
Oh no, they weren't control grouped, I don't think.
Oh no. Those boys are so important against the charge lots here.
There are tanks sieging up now. That's a lot of Marines. Oh, man. And not all the Zealots were here. The Phoenix come in. They do get some nice lifts, but I think a little bit too late to the fight. No Guardian Shield goes up. No Force Fields either. And, I mean, oh, man, the carrier's out. The first carrier's here. Some Zealots coming in, but the Phoenix are getting gunned down.
Yeah, and this Muspire doesn't give a shit about your capital tier 3 air units.
Not the...
Carriers
I mean, it's...
suck.
You don't want 2 carriers versus mass Marines.
No,
he needed to be doing non-stop Zealot warp-ins. This was a 2-base all-in versus a 3-base play. You can't go to the highest tech in the game against the 2-base all-in while also being a base-up. Like, you could defend this if you turtle on 2-base with cannon battery, but... I mean, Andark just went for the throat. It was like, no, I am committing everything to this attack, and... I think if Canuck survived going 3-base carrier, we could kind of just vomit off camera a little bit and be like, if he got away with that, I would be grossed out. Team, you are tied up 2-2.
Well done, guys. Getting the scoreboard even again. Now, there is the ability, as much as I disgust myself in saying this, I know that everyone wants to play their way. And if you are a guy out there that's like, I want to make carriers against Terran, even though they're playing bio and getting upgrades, there is ways to get it done. Like, I actually think that Captain Canuck had a really good start to the game. It was at that point where he decided to rush to tier 3 A units that it started to fall apart a little bit. If you have a lot more static defense and things like, if you can afford it, going for some kind of splash damage on the ground, carriers actually really synergize very well with things like disruptors and storm and colossi and stuff like that. You know, that is something that's extremely scary for a bio-Terran to deal with, because a Terran, if they're just against carriers, just Marines. That's all you need. Marines, medevacs. That's it. Because they will just kill the interceptors.
Could I once again make a quick request to the mods to update the CTL command in chat? Still got the information from 2 seasons ago. If you guys could please do me a favor and update that. Thank you very much. Now,
oh wow.
Let's go, guys. We are going into, it's 2-2, and up here in the top left in the yellow, it is Xenodactyl representing AlphaX
with an extremely fast mana pylon in his own mineral line.
That's got to be a forge, right? Yeah. This is so you can get up the cannon in the mineral line when a Reaper comes across the map. Yep. Ooh, second probe even going early as well, and down here in the bottom right.
Yeah, in the bottom right, it is Team Unrivaled Stifle, who's about to have some cannons to stifle here, and
all right,
this is going to be a little testy.
I'm on Stifle's camera. Stifle right now bringing a second SCV. Nope, says I'm not going to fight it. Okay, pulls back. So Stifle is just leaving one SCV to Jewel down there with those probes, give him a bit of a taste of his drill, try and intimidate them, and just is going to try and build back behind this. So I actually don't mind this response as long as you build a bunker far back and that sort of stuff. The problem is, if they start, and we see a really quick gateway on the front, if they get like stalkers and batteries up here, it can get really awkward.
One of the things you need to do as a Terran as well is to make the decision on walling off or not. And I feel like one of the strongest things you can do against cannon rush as a Terran is to actually wall off your main, because you want to deny high ground vision. Unfortunately, Xenodactyl has got that high ground pylon, so this cannon will be able to fire at that supply depot. It's not quite in range of the barracks, but this next cannon is.
You know,
there's still no bunker here from.
Oh, you got to hold position, the Marine. Oh man, hold position. So I actually don't mind you not walling off. Oh, hold position. Okay, Marines are on the way. There's no bunker started, so this is the big problem. I actually really like people not walling off. I think, oh no. Oh, Stifle's panicking. Oh, this is what you gotta practice against Florencio. You gotta practice against Florencio, mate. You gotta, the dirty cheese from Xenodactyl's coming out. And with no bunker up, I mean, this might just be a quick win. In range of the command center, supply blocked right now. This is an awful situation for the Terran.
Yeah, like even on 17 or 18 supply, I know you don't want to get that second depot until 2021, but to stop a cannon rush, it is super worth it. You wall off that high ground, the probe doesn't get into the main, there is no high ground pylon. Oh, another Marine getting picked off there. Stifle literally has one unit, and he's just mass repairing a main base that isn't even an orbital. This is actually probably game ending already.
Yeah. You know, I think the bunker on the high ground is the other option if you build it far enough back so the first cannon can't hit it. But you've got to go for one of those two responses. Those are the two responses you need, right? It's wall out the probe and don't let him get it up, or do it that way. But now the Marines just keep trickling in one at a time. Another one gets gunned down, and I mean, the panic is on, the pressure is on. It sucks so much to just have the fight come to you this fast and this hard in the finals. But you know what? I mean, Xenodactyl goes for the throat, says, I'm going to skill check you really hard here. Do you have what it takes to stand up underneath this sort of pressure? And even though Stifle's doing some nice micro there, the Drilly Boys do get a heroic little surround. I mean, a tank's going to come out. Let's not call it over till it's over, because remember that there is still only one base behind this, and that tank is slowly going to clean. Oh my god, he sieged that close to the cannon. That tank is like a pixel from being shot. Oh my god.
Almost in range of that cannon. So Stifle is technically alive here, and his worker count is down, but he is not out. He's still repairing that main base. The gateway, you know, there's a cyber core up, so there is a Stargate on the way, and I actually can see this still being really rough for Stifle. Like, there is not an advantage here for the Terran. If the Stargate gets up, I mean, he's already lost so many Marines. There's not anything that shoots up here. Imagine if an Oracle shows up, or even a Void Ray.
Oh, is that Adept going to drag fire into the SCVs? It is. It's looking to bring the friendly fire into the SCV line. A quick pullback from Stifle is going to save some of them, but even more SCVs go down. And that is just, a total of 8 workers dead this game, down to 13 against 22. The first Void Ray's already starting, and there's nothing that shoots up here. No gas income either. I think you're right, Maynard. I think a single Chad is going to waltz up to this Terran base, say, "Ha! Is this where you live? Holy shit! Your house is so shit!" And then he's going to take a piss on the carpet of this Terran base and just fucking be the disrespectful piece of shit that he is.
Yeah, he's got his bright pink polo shirt with the collar popped. He's got the sideways cap on that says Margot on top of it, and he's just like, your house is shit. My dad's mansion's so much better than this.
And there he goes. Yep.
Yeah, that's
unzips
Caden,
his fly.
Yeah.
Zero respect.
Whips
What a
it out.
Chad. What a fucking Chad, man.
Grabs that roast chicken that was waiting for dinner because it's your wife's 10th anniversary, and just eats that chicken with his bare hands, throws it on the ground, and leaves.
That sucks for Stifle. I mean, Stifle really tried to get a defense together, fighting down to the last moment. He's going to try to mass repair the Viking. Prismatic alignment's not ready. But you repair. Stopped repairing. Oh, no.
Oh, so close, but no cigar. And GG's. Stifle taps out. Poor Stifle, man. That's a rough game to lose. I definitely know what it feels like to lose games like that, but chin up, Slugger. There's always next season. And don't worry, because your team is still in it.
Yeah, I mean, that, so it was 2-2. That was game 5. AlphaX takes the lead again, 3-2. Hot shit. This might actually go down to the ace match. This is insane. Big thank you, everybody, for the support. By the way, Mainy's not streaming right now since he's a little wrecked, but please show him some love and, support Oli Mol League and stuff. He was up super late casting that, so please show him some love in my chat. I think you've got my chat open. Let him know how large his dreadlocks are and how impressive they are, and how the girth of his dreads impresses you, and you wish you could also have dreads that were as large, girthy, and manly as his.
Yeah, I mean, my dreads are actually quite thin, but that's okay. I'll appreciate the comment.
I was talking about the dreads. Yes, we're talking about the hair, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm dead. I'm casting from my coffin right now. I'm 7 feet underground, losing oxygen. But yeah.
I appreciate it. Bringing the passion and the excitement despite that for a bunch of amateur players. And it is really nice to see you doing that. Big thank you, of course, Pomba Boss, Maynard as well earlier with the resub, Falmir subbed, NSC Jax. Guys, we're going into match 5, looking to close out the series. Up here in the top left, representing AlphaX, it is Snap XD.
Is that a smiley face, or is it stand for something? I think it's a smiley face.
The XD?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Down here
bottom.
You got it
here in the blue from Team Unrivaled Gaming. It is David MG.
He's not a GM. He's a Master General.
He's a very solid D1, apparently. Nice. Fairly new to CTL and Team UR. Plays very macro style, so I'm expecting that here from David MG.
Cool. 4-3 wins in the regular season. 4 wins, 3 losses. Cool. Very excited to see how this one goes. Big thank you, by the way. So we haven't been doing as many shout-outs as normal. There's a few people coming in and going, what the hell is CTL? CTL, I was obviously memeing earlier. I think this was before Maynard was on, about how people are like, oh, is this the Wardy Spring Championship, someone said? And I was saying that, that's where the noobs play, and this is where the actual pros play. That's like the beta league, and this is where the alphas are. Obviously, I'm kidding. If you've been watching a lot of Wardy, you're watching the top pro gamers, mostly in Europe, but also all around the world competing in his leagues. Here we are watching amateur players. This is your average Joe's StarCraft. This is the grand finals of a long season where a ton of teams have been playing. They field rosters of Platinum 3 right through to Masters players who are matched against players of that same league. They face each other each week. You can see it's best of 1 format until the Masters League match, which is the one after this, the final, the ace match, which is a best of 3. And it is, of course, first to 4 does end up winning. We'll be casting all matches. Even if SnapXD does win this game, we'll still cast the next one. But if SnapXD wins this, if Snap, I'll just call him Snap, then it will close it out. And at only 16 drones with a shit ton of Zerglings coming across the map, David, you better wall off. I think that's fully walled on the top. Needs to keep that Adept in the wall right now, though. That's a butt ton of Zerglings.
Oh, God, it's not.
Oh, no.
Not like this.
Okay, that Adept needs to get in that choke point right now. Right now, right now. Change your rally point. Oh, no, 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 not there, not there, not there, not there. The Adept pops out. She's a little exposed. More probes coming down. Now, don't get me wrong. A bunch of probes in an Adept can take on a butt ton of Zerglings, and the start of this fight is not going terribly. That Adept, she's already killed 4 of them. Yes, a bunch of probes have gone down. Still up 5 workers behind this. Just needs to finish the wall. That's not a wall off. No, 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 that's not a wall off.
It's still not. Like, I think there's a gap in the south of the pylon and to the north side. The probe is still there. It wanted to make another structure. He didn't have enough minerals.
Oh, no, that Adept, she's got to get back in the wall. It's still a chance. Get back in the wall. No, 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 don't get lured by that Zergling. She needs to get in the wall. There's more Lings coming. It's a crazy stream here. It's a big Zergling all in, but you can tell that thankfully for David, Snap was not as consistent with the production as wanted to be. Only had 1 queen, so only had a single inject, and wasn't able to get the reinforce there as quickly as was needed. I think those Lings should have avoided fighting the probes and tried to buy time and just run into the main, because don't get me wrong, there is a chance for a follow-up. I think it's going to be... Oh no, the butthole. I thought it was going to be the Dropper Lord, but it's actually going to be a butthole.
All right, so the butthole's coming out here for Snap. Now, normally, the butthole is a lot more frightening because there's queens in there as well as Zerglings when high-level players do this, but it is just 1 single queen and mass Lings here, and David MG has opened Stargate, so he's going to have Oracles available.
I think Oracles are definitely one of the best units for killing these Zerglings. Part of me almost wants to get a Void Ray, though, when I'm playing Protoss in this scenario. Unfortunately, David's like, cool, I defended your pressure, and isn't building any more Stargate units right now. But as this Adept comes in, David's like, whoa, why don't you have any drones? And that's got to ring the alarm bells. Cancel the probes. I'm on David's camera. Shield battery's going down at the front. Oracle's going to eliminate the entire mineral line in the main. Oh my god, that's actually some sick damage.
It certainly is. He sees the butthole here. He's like, oh, he's microing the Oracle. He's like, all right, recall back home.
It's almost out of energy, though. And it's still got its laser beam on. It's down to just 20 energy. The probes are going to evac. And if that second Oracle doesn't get out, if those Lings depower it, that's going to be huge. And the Oracle, its laser's been on the whole time. It gets in there, kills 1 Zergling, and runs out of energy. Oh, no.
Oh, it's out of juice. And that second Oracle, I don't think it's going to happen, Pig. Either
I think
the Stargate gets depowered or the Stargate dies. It's going to
Those Adepts have got to get out of there. They got to get back to the low ground. Needs to just defend the gateways. There's 3 Adepts out. They got to get back to the shield batteries right now. I think you've just got to survive. Even on 1 base, you'll actually be ahead here. It's a 9 drone Zerg player. It's as all in as they can get, but these Adepts are getting surrounded. The probes are going to need to fight. And with that shield battery, with the Adepts, there is still hope. Remember, it's a 9 drone Zerg. A nice hold position micro on the probes. Hold position micro, David. Oh, those probes. They're not dragging aggro from the Zerglings. 1 Adept down there is surrounded, though. There's only 2 Adepts left. The probes start fighting. Oh, a good wriggle. She gets out of there on red hit points. Another one comes in here. Sick micro from David.
Really cool shit to see here from Davey. He's going to lose an Adept to the Queen there. Wasn't expecting that from the high ground. He's got a Stalker coming into the mix. Now, keep in mind that the army of Snap actually is just Queens at the moment. These Lings are in production. They're not here. So this 1 Stalker with a shield battery assist and these 2 Adepts can actually kill Snap's little army in the main. He hasn't killed the main Nexus yet either.
You got to watch out, though. If those queens just kind of pretend, like, if they can be the bait queens, right? There can be 20 more Zerglings pop out of that Night Swim. Good transfuse. Needs another one. Needs another one. Needs another one. Gets the other transfuse. Where's the Zerglings? They can surround. This is bait. David, you got to run. Run back to the natural. Don't. No, no, no. He's come too deep. He's bought the bait. The Zerglings, thankfully, they don't unload as fast as they used to. And he doesn't unload all of them. Only a few. You got to get in there, Snap. Snap a little bit slow to pull the trigger. And that pylon distracting some of the units here. There's been a few crucial moments of miss micro here from Snap. And it's all David needs.
David's control's been really nice in these gateway units as well, getting as much bang for his buck as he can get out of these gateway units. Meanwhile, Snap being a little bit wasteful with these units. He's just sending them in and hoping for the best. But it is not going to be enough here. These last 6 Lings for Snap. I mean, he can make another round of Lings if he wants, but David seems to really be securing this main.
A heroic defense from David. Every unit really just microed down to the last lane. Shield batteries going down reactively very nicely. Another Night Swim's popping up in the back. I mean, it's not over till it's over. The Stargate is now just rebuilding. There are 2 gateways up. Do we have and the Cybercore is still here, so it can still make Adepts right now. David doesn't have any gas mining, though, and Ling's in the mineral line.
Certainly is. And the Stalkers are on the chase here on those Lings. Keeps most of the probes alive. You see David is still up 13 workers at the moment here and still has 2 bases to mine from. Going to lose one of his stalkers, potentially 2, but the Lings do get shipped back. And David, Stargate is up. He has, as you mentioned, a very good point, sort of missed gas mining for a little bit, but he just saturates the main gas again.
And David even scouts in the midst of this. The Adept goes to the natural, is like, oh, you don't, okay, good. You haven't droned at all, sweet. I just got to survive. The Nidus in the main is going to do some damage, but that Adept also able to potentially do some damage when it gets microed. David's Probe's on the run for now. These Stalkers still in danger of getting surrounded on creep here. He's got to defend those. The Probes have got to fight with this, I think.
Yeah, it's awkward, but there is creep in his main, and fighting on that creep is he wants to fight in the main because that's where where his main is. But fighting on creep is going to give the Zerga the advantage. They're going to be able to surround things a lot quicker. The Lings really cannot deal with this gateway army. They are killing 12 Probes, but he's still down 6.
Gotta kill those Zerglings. Can't just click on the Nidus one, buddy. But the Adepts do it. There's still an Adept, 2 Adepts on the other side of the map that are looking to do counter damage. David, taking a while to stabilize here, is building more Zealots. The Adepts coming into that main base, and they are getting surrounded by Queens and Lings. So I think David here, maybe needs to just focus on cleaning up his home a little bit before doing counter aggression. It's a bit hard to micro it in the midst of all this.
Yeah,
so
he's multitasking here, and multitasking right now doesn't need to be done. If you don't need to do it, don't do it. Right now, all David needs to do is dump Chronos into his Nexi, keep making probes, wall off. These probes surrounding this, like, split up the army as well a little bit because he has enough units now to be able to do that. Probes actually kill this Nidus. Nicely done.
Oh, that one Zealot is going to get surrounded. Does go down, but the Zerglings and the Nidus go down, and these aren't cheap. This costs a lot.
75 gas each Nidus.
I mean, when you're on 17 workers, 75 minerals and 75 gas adds up very quickly. And I mean, it's annoying having creep in your main base, but we're looking at a 26 Pro Protoss, 17 drone Zerg. And I mean, there's a few moments there. I saw someone in chat say, wow, Protoss is just broken. That hold position micro was sick from David, but it was also something which Snap didn't respond to. A lot of the Zerglings were derping around. You need to manually start target firing or hold position microing your Zerglings to counter that. Snap didn't do that in the heat of the moment. So that is literally someone utilizing the game mechanics to outplay their opponent, and like bringing balance into it at all there is like so silly and unfounded. Now, was the initial defense a bit sloppy from David with the hole in the wall? Yes, but it was Snap's fault that he didn't build Zerglings. He could have won the game, I think, if those Zerglings actually were rallying properly across the map. But there was a gap in production while Snap was microing, and Snap took a very bad first engagement with about 8 Zerglings that got surrounded by probes while an Adept was killing them. And that was just a bad fight. So, you know, there was a lot of things that weren't done right with this all-in. And it just seems so silly. Like, well, why do you just win the game? It's like, hey, if you've made a bunch of mistakes with your all-in, they've done a bunch of really sick plays under pressure, bringing balance into it, I think is about as silly as we can go. So just a heads up, obviously, I think there's always, sometimes you get traumatized by a few losses and suddenly balance starts to color your eyes. I really advise anyone thinking that way to break out of that mindset. StarCraft's not a fun game when it's the game's fault. It's really a very depressing game if you think like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take a step back and just even do as a rule of thumb, like if you aren't a professional player, balance actually doesn't matter. There are so many things you could do to improve at the game, and even if a unit is objectively strong, you know, paper may beat rock, but if you have 3 rocks, it beats paper, you know?
Exactly.
You can just macro a lot better in StarCraft and be smarter about how you do things.
Well,
there's so many pieces in the puzzle.
The thing is, in StarCraft, sometimes rock does beat paper, right?
Yeah.
Because like you use it in the certain way where you get them to use their unit in a poor way or use your unit in a better way than them. Like, you know, it's like, oh, you know, mutas don't beat stalkers and sentries in a fight, right? But you can win the base trade, right? So, you know, it's like, wait, which one's actually better than the other? You know, it's so multi-dimensional, and there's so many things you can take advantage of. Oh, accidentally picks up a lava with the lift. Oh, what a mistake. It was meant to disable the queen while the Oracle killed the mineral lion. Oh, no. No. Save! Save! Oh, my God.
A little bit of miscontrol there on that Oracle.
Bit excited.
A little bit excited. That's okay.
Definitely still a massive lead here. A transition into Lingbane for Snap. Just going to try to bring it back. I think that's a good choice when you're behind. You know, good counterattack, backstabby force. Banelings or Lings can get in mineral lines and turn things around real quick. And I mean, David hasn't put back on gas in the main yet, but is up to 6-gate charge lot production, taking a third. Like, this is a very, very solid position to be in as David. I mean, if we see a few Archons or Immortals added in here as well to strengthen this comp, It's all going to be about Snap winning with backstabs and counterattacks. I mean, I like the continued Nidus Worm pressure. Anything to buy time and apply pressure here, it's going to give you a chance.
Those charge lots actually stopping his army from getting on top of this Nidus Worm, but there we go. I mean, if he unloads any lings here, they're going to die, so I don't think that Snap's going to do that, yeah. David is F2ing his army around quite a bit here, but he doesn't need to split his army up at the moment. Like, there's no creep in his main anymore. Nidus Worm pressure not really going to be a thing because these Phoenixes are patrolling Overlord Vision. So having his army in a big clump is solid. Like, if you can not complicate the game, no need to complicate it.
Zealots are going to be the absolute counter to those Zerglings. Now, we've got Bane Speed and +2 on the way, so the problem is no Archons yet, but there's a Templar Archives finishing up, and there is a Warp Prism here, and look at that gas bank. So there's going to be 3 Archons made basically as soon as that Templar Archives finished, and they are the counter to the Banelings. So, I mean, personally, I wish Snap had sidestepped this army and was backstabbing and pulling him home. I don't think Snap wants to fight right now. This is not a good time. This is a much better moment for David to be fighting. The Banes are going to try to come in. They get some heroic hits on the left-hand side, but heroic is not enough. You need godlike Banes. You need each Bane to connect with 14 Zealots.
Oh, good splits on the Zealots here. Putting them out of harm's way. Mitigating that damage, and he's got another warp-in cycle available. In fact, the Prism unwarps here. I really wish it was just in a warp mode, making more Zealots. Yeah, there we go. All right.
Well, David is just the ultimate try-hard god of micro here. There's been some sick micro in this game from David. Really want to pay some props. And Snap as well, guiding the Banes into those Zealots. I mean, obviously way behind in this game, but some showing, you know, the Queen's pulled back, showing that he understands how to take good engagements. It's just that David, of course, has all the momentum from that early game. And I mean, there's still a chance with only one. There's going to be a second Archon very soon. Every Archon that morphs severely diminishes Snap's chance. So Snap going to backstab with some Zerglings, going to try to hang on with Queen Speedbane. There is nothing but Queens and Banes here.
Yeah, Queens and Banes are nice. They're definitely going to get rid of a lot of these Zealots, but the Archons are just a massive problem. Stalkers in the back line as well. Enough charge lots to make those Lings go away. The Archon just going to tank it like
trying to focus fire the Archon, but it's... Oh, no.
It's keeping it alive. And those Zealots to that choke point. Look at that. David's army is just getting every single bang for its buck here. The Archon goes down, unfortunately, but I think he's sealed the deal.
I like how David's other Archon is just chilling at the third. And he's like, no, you can take it, bro. I want there to be one hero Archon in this fight, just absolutely monster moding. And that Archon tanked so much. It killed so many Zerglings. Really nicely done here by David, who's been using the Warp Prism excellently, making Zealots and Archons the counter to Zergling Baneling. And really dealing with Snap's lesser economy very well.
Yeah, it looked very dicey there. I was definitely clenching. Snap nearly got the win there with that Nidus Worm strat. But David, he held on. He weathered the storm and has found himself in the comfortable area. We know he likes to play macro, and this is his comfort zone. 3 bases, going up to 4. His upgrades are kicking in. He's got those tier 3 units, and his Zerg opponent has dug himself a hole, and he's not going to be able to get out of it this time.
Ace match on the way by the looks of it. 4th base on the way here for David, and that's going to tie things up here for Team Unrivaled. It's going to bring us to a 3-3 scoreline. You know what, guys? I think it's time we start investigating CTL for match fixing, trying to build hype for their finals, because this is just awesome. The fact that we get a Game 7, well, best of 3, in fact, for the Masters set to decide it.
There are so many bookies out there that are just sending out cute girls to slide into the DMs of platinum players. Hey, man, there's a team league coming up, and we got a lot of big whales betting on this. There's a cut for you if you want to take a dive in map 4.
Oh my gosh. All right, guys. So it's tied up 3-3. Team Unrivaled versus AlphaX. It goes to the final best of 3 ace match. This is a time, guys. I want you all, if you're watching and you've never played in a clan or you've never joined a team league, and your idea of StarCraft is like, well, when I open StarCraft, Menska's there. He greets me, and then I click the versus tab. Sometimes I get too afraid to click ranked, so I go unranked, or sometimes I go custom game and I play versus AI, and I don't talk to anyone outside of posting a capper in a Twitch chat. You're playing StarCraft wrong. That's not how you do it, guys. You should join a team, even if you're in silver, even if you're in gold. Get in there. Play a CTL match once a week. You don't have to play every week. That you can always be like, I'm busy for 2 weeks with work or whatever. I don't have to play. Your matches are organized with your teammates. You have to find a huge amount of time. Think about that. A best of 1 every week. Oh my God. That you can arrange on your own schedule. What? And then you get to be part of a team. You guys get to coach each other. You lose a game you're really upset about because some fucker cannon rushed you. And you get your teammates to come watch the replay with you or give you advice afterwards. Like, it's just, it adds community, it adds fun. And in a complicated game like StarCraft, where there's infinite strategies and it's like so easy to get trapped in bad mindsets or to not see the big picture in a game where we're losing, you know, being part of a community is how you learn. It's how you improve. It's how you really enjoy this game. So please sign up for CTL. Don't be self-conscious. It's the same thing as playing an amateur sports league. For some reason, people are comfortable doing that, and they're so fucking afraid to show their gameplay in a fucking video game. It's like, guys, it doesn't matter if you win or lose. It's about having fun and just enjoying it.
Yeah, there's I mean, bit of self-promotion here, but I put a video out very recently on anxiety and ladder anxiety in general. And one of the main things that I brought up as a method to get over ladder anxiety that I think is super, 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 super important is to actually just not go it alone. And that is to join a clan, join a Discord community, vent your frustrations with people, do custom games instead of ladder games. You're in a safe space there. Like, these teams, they're not going to sit there and judge you for, you know, floating minerals or being bronze. They don't give a shit. They are there to support you, to lift you up. And that's what the StarCraft community does when you are playing the video game. It really is nothing to be afraid of.
That's actually one of the most beautifully edited and produced videos as well. It's actually quite funny, and it's got some real good shit in there, from tips like that, also to some, you know, some lovely shit about just kind of there's some talk about negative visualization, some stoic concepts, some meditation techniques. Like, there's a bunch of, but on a very basic and practical level, you know, no woo woo. No, oh, just fucking click the game, you fucking bitch. It's like a very down-to-earth and realistic video, which I think is amazing and touches on a lot of the key points. So I've linked it in chat a few times. I love that video. I cannot recommend it enough. Give it a click, guys.
Yeah, thank you. We got ourselves game number 7, though, and I think it's a best of 3 between the Masters players, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Indeed it is.
Yeah.
So I'm actually going to change the scoreboard to a best of 3, 2-0-0, since this decides the entire thing. All right, well, down here in the bottom right, looking to close out this Masters League best of 3, the ace match, to win it for the team, since they are tied up 3-3, representing AlphaX. It's reality.
And in the top left here, it is Teardrop, one of my favorite Mass Attack songs. Mass Effect is a video game.
Yeah, Teardrop's a great song. This player's also been around on Team UR for a long time. You know, Teardrop's a name I've cast probably many times. It's such a familiar name. I've seen Teardrop in chat, in other people's chats, and just generally being a cool person. So yeah, apparently we cast Teardrop in the season 20 finals, so 3 seasons back. Played in that grand finals as well. So really cool to see coming out again. And you know, Proxy Starport's a good build order, and I think that's what we're going to be seeing from Teardrop with that SCV over there.
Oh, yeah. We are seeing a Stargate from reality, but it's one of those beta Stargates where you make them in your main base. Ugh.
That's
putting him right next to the main base now of your opponent. Now that's where you put your flying units.
Hells yeah. And with that fast reactor, I'm thinking we might see a Hellion drop. That's one of the most brutal ways to use a Proxy Starport. You get 4 Hellions. They arrive down here as a medevac pops out. You unload in that corner of the main base where there's no vision right now. And Protoss can lose 20 probes and lose the game right there and then. So, I mean, this might be a very quick game one in this best of 3. Indeed, Hellions start off, the Starport starts up. You can follow that up with a really quick lib. I've seen people do it where the Hellions just run in the front and there's no second pylon at the natural to wall off. That worries me here. Good snipe, though. Yeah. Phoenix are good for this. Phoenix are probably the best unit for this situation, I would think.
Yeah, Phoenix is a very, very nice here to deal with the medevac part. They have a lot of utility, but if you don't have a ground army, the Hellions still can really ruin your day, even if the medevac gets picked off. But you want to punish the Terran. Like, picking off the medevac is huge. It's a 100 gas unit. So,
this adept needs to get info. I really feel like you get some info here already. You got to go, whoa, whoa. Did he notice it? He should have noticed it. Recall that adept right now. Get that adept home. You do not want those Hellions to burn her down. She's very important DPS. The Hellions are going down the right-hand side of the map. They're going to dodge her, of course. They don't want to get spotted. And this gives Reality a sense of safety, maybe. Being like, okay, they're not chasing me just yet, but they are. They're going to drop in that main base. The Phoenix, where are they chilling? They're at the front of the natural. Oh, no, he's worried about the wall off there. It's going to come into the dark spot. Reality, oh, there's a Phoenix there. Has to F2 and get up here right now. These Hellions in the mineral line.
And the probes aren't being pulled yet, but the thing is, when you pull those probes, they line up and stack up as well, and sometimes that's even worse than just letting them do their thing. 10 probes have died here, and he's still not done.
Oh,
the
the
Adepts are going
Adepts.
to pick up the Hellions finally, but one's still on the ground. And
Where are the Adepts? They were chilling at the natural this whole time. Needed to F2 up here. This is one of those scenarios where F2 would have been the better call. Does finally pick this up, but the medevac escapes. There is a Liberator on the way behind this where if those Phoenix are too busy, like that medevac, it's almost bait right now. It's like, oh, look at me. Oh, no, I showed myself at your third. And the Phoenix like, yeah, let's chase him down. It's like, no, you got to guard your main. That Liberator is going to wait. And the moment Teardrop sees the Phoenix go across the map and appear in his base, that Liberator is going to siege the main mineral line and just destroy the probes.
What was the thing that you fucking destroyed me with in Pro Tour? Was it the
jailbait? What was it again?
A lollipop in its mouth, winking and lifting up its school skirt.
Yeah, it was the observer on the edge of the base, wasn't it? It baited, and the Marines scanned and got it to red hit points, and it just pulled off the edge of the cliff and was like, nah, boys.
You can't get me, you silly Terran. Ooh, gets one of the Phoenixes there with the Cyclone at the end. Losing 2 SCVs is completely fine considering the amount of damage that Teardrop's done in this game.
Nice Liberator siege up. That's just adding the mining time there is such a pain in the butt here for Reality to deal with. And the Liberator's going to try to siege another base. Where are those Phoenix? They're not in the right position. They're expecting it to run away, but oh no, going to lose even more mining time. And this is, the Liberator's going to get caught. So this is such a good use for it. Big disruption.
Yeah, very, very annoying there. Denying mining time in an already hurt economy of Reality. Right now he wants to have a third base with like the dozen or so probes mining on it. It's just not there at the moment. Going into Colossus production, so, if he goes Phoenix Colossus, that is an army comp that can really ruin Terran's day if they don't know how to deal with it. It's a tough unit comp to deal with it, but he has to get there. Also isn't able to afford extended thermal lance at the same time, which makes these Colossi not as deadly.
Yeah, I love Phoenix Colossus when you're able to maintain parity with the Terran or be just slightly behind economically. But the problem is if you take a bunch of damage like that, it's very hard to bounce back in the game. Like when you're going Mass Zealot, you can be like, all right, I'll just like upgrade off one forge, make charge, not take any gas geysers, just saturate 3 mineral lines and make a lot of stabby dudes, a bunch of steroided up zealots who are ready to fight. And that's going to get you through the mid game and get you back to getting yourself back in it. The problem with Colossus and Phoenix is these are like fragile kind of tech units. You can't make a decision to just be like, oh, I'll just mine less gas this game. Because it's like, well, what are you going to do? Make unupgraded zealots to go with it? Like, there's no way you can kind of tilt your economy one way to make up for it. And instead, you're just having to defend with less units and try to make sure you've got everything together when push comes to shove. Because when that Terran tries to force the issue, your army is not going to have as much meat to it.
Yeah, and these upgrades are actually pretty solid for the Terran as well. He's got 1-1 done on the bio, and the first forge is just on the way now for Reality. So it really is playing catch-up in every single regard here, with the Terran's third being saturated as well.
That'd be a 6 snipe.
Yeah, tank would be great. There we go.
Yeah. Not bad taking the shot from the Widow Mine as well. Gets a Widow Mine, the Phoenix doing everything they can right now to cause some damage, some chaos. The push coming down the right-hand side of the map. The bio production hasn't really exploded yet. So I feel like Teardrop's built a sick economy lead, has good production starting to kick in, but there is such a Widow Mine focus right now. And against Colossus, that's really hard to utilize. It's good for dropping in mineral lines. It's good for multi-drops. It's not good in a frontal push. If the Protoss is good at micro, they can just pull back and kind of taser down and laser down, those Widow Mines from afar. So I'd love to see a lot more Marauder production, and those 2-2 upgrades do thankfully start up. That's one of the most important leads that Teardrop has and needs to keep continuing with.
Oh boy, that bio army, it's pretty small. The Colossi do need to be respected here. They don't have extended thermal lance just yet, or any armor, or any attack upgrades, I should say. Is +1 armor starts first.
All the Widow Mines are at home. Finally realizes that. There's a ton of bio building up as well. So Teardrop's done a good job, but I feel like whilst being confident in the macro, it seems like things are getting a little bit less defined at this point. I'd love to see like a second starport or this army join up. Right now, it's not bad to just keep hitting their macro But for Teardrop, I'd be saying, like, you really want to either rush up that tech tree now, or you want to very decisively commit to a maxed out 2-2 timing attack. And it feels like this is such a small army over here. You're presenting an opportunity for your opponent to jump on you. Oh, nice cleanup. Nice cleanup.
Getting rid of those Widow Mines is really fantastic. Observer making sure that they go down. A big Doom drop to the main base, though.
Oh, good movement, good movement. Zealots warping in. Reality knows this is the case. Come on, Teardrop, you can do this. But those Zealots on top of the drop, the Phoenix come back, and
oh no.
This is what I was talking about. Teardrop has been in control, but just trying to maintain map control with only a small squad of units and leaving so many units at home. Oh, you know what? Charge lot, Colossus. This is one of the best mobile armies, man. Just for punching ground units in the face. Like, there's not a lot of mobile anti-air. 3 Phoenix and a Stalker. No sentries, no High Templar. Who gives a fuck? If you got 4 Colossus and 24 Zealots, Terran's got to be afraid. There's not a lot of Vikings. There's not that many Marauders right now. And Teardrop, I mean, this is such a scary army. Teardrop has to gather everything, and I think even needs to pull SCVs to survive this attack.
Yeah, this is a serious attack here. There's something special about Colossi and Charge Lots that even if a Terran is winning the game, they just somehow... It's a unit comp that's really hard to deal with. If you don't have the Widow Mines, you don't have the right composition. The Vikings are coming on in, and that's a great addition here for the Terran. And Plenty of Bio is still alive as well. He's chasing that army back to the high ground.
This might be it. This might be it. A Teardrop, I think, has managed to hold together, though. There's still a few Zealots. I mean, the fact that all those Widow Mines got sniped is actually coming into effect in a big way. Teardrop's got to be defensive. You can't chase this army down. Oh no, picks up Marauders. So many of them wounded. Has to sit still and let the units heal. There's too much Viking micro right now. I guess there's what is that? 1 Phoenix, 1 Stalker?
Yeah, I mean, also the Vikings have been on a move here, not target firing, so they've been shooting the Phoenixes for the most part. Now the Phoenixes are gone, and the Vikings really can get something done here.
2-2 is here. That's 2-2 upgrades. That's big.
Yeah.
1 Colossus falls. There's no Zealots left on the ground. It's just Stalkers and Colossus with +1 armor up against 2-2 Marine Marauder. And, I mean, Reality looked like was about to pull it back in this game, but with no Warp Prism to reinforce, 1,500 minerals in the bank, we can see it was so close to breaking the back of Teardrop. But without Zealots reinforcing in the fight, and with Teardrop just barely managing to get a defense together, is suddenly looking okay. Accidentally lifts the third base and the natural. Oh, no.
I was about to say this looks like a Maynarde game with, getting
oh!
the shot.
Oh my god.
Damn.
He says, okay, you cleared my army. How about a taste of Chad's balls? That one big disruptor comes forward. It just chunks those Marauders out. And suddenly, you know what? Reality buys time. Has a 4th base up. The 2-1 upgrades are going to kick in. That's going to close the upgrade gap a little bit. And that means Teardrop will probably have to wait for 3-3 before there's another really big upgrade lead in this game. That being said, good scans, sees the 4th base is up, has a 4th base of his own. If Teardrop can just keep Maynarding these workers around to the new bases and just building this Viking bio count, I mean, even Libs on the way forward a time, it still feels like Teardrop's in the driver's seat. I'm just worried that every second that goes by, Reality's going to get more of those big game-changing units
the big
out,
splash damage Protoss units. You know, getting Storm up, which is on the way right now. He's actually getting a 2nd Templar Archives. There's the cancel. Attaboy, Reality. Quarter just towards the end. He's like, hang on a minute.
3-2 upgrade starting as well. So yeah, Reality is like, I know I'm behind, but if I could just hang in here for a bit longer, I got a chance. I like that there's a bit of harassment coming. Widow Mines queuing into 2 separate bases at the same time. Now, the ones on the right get caught, but the ones on the left get 7 workers. A drop queued into the main as well. Teardrop not risking any major army, but is still just finding a way to do damage with small commitments of units, waiting for 3-3 and Lib range to kick in. A lovely maneuver here from Teardrop, who is going to be maxed out by the time those upgrades kicked in anyway.
One of the strongest things you can do in StarCraft is drop in one place while hitting in another. And it looks like he's gearing up for an attack on that low ground 4th Nexus.
Yeah.
That is the 4th right there. Actually, he might be trying to go for the really big killing blow here. If he can siege up this low ground...
The army's a little small, though. The army is a little small, so I don't want Teardrop to commit too hard. I want to see like a Nexus snipe and a runaway. Like, don't get me wrong, the position all goes to Teardrop. It might be enough. Blink's not ready just yet. Neither is Storm. Reality's got to buy time. Reality cannot fight into those lib zones. There's got to wait for Teardrop to get a bit overeager. And a drop on the right-hand side. Very fancy maneuvers from Teardrop, but the drop does get sniped.
Yeah, it does. He is really far ahead in army supply right now, but
it's not all here though.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that a lot of it's in production and also a lot of it is still at home. He's not rallying across the map. The Liberator's still trading very nicely here, and quite a few of these expensive units. When the Colossi goes down, a lot of the Stalkers go down as well.
Where's that Stormu? One big storm. That bio army realizing the threat does pull back. There is another big army at home, more libs as well. Still 6 medevacs. Oh, the Vikings have been forgotten about, Maynard. There is 5 Vikings between that 3rd and 4th base for Teardrop. Bit of an unfortunate mistake, even just as a harassment squad. If you go, I think there's no more Colossus, you can queue those to land in mineral lines. They do big damage, but there is in fact 2 Colossus out right now. So they would be incredibly powerful in the frontal engagement.
They certainly would. They certainly would. It's about to have +2 attack as well. The Libs leading the charge, so one of them gets softened up by their Stalkers, which do have Blink now.
It's very important. These Libs are the hardest thing for Reality to deal with right now. 3-2 upgrades are about to kick in, though. That's going to close that upgrade lead gap. Oh, Lib range is big, man. Those Lib zones starting to pick off the High Templar already.
Nice dodge on that Storm. Gets one of the Liberators, but there's more where that came from here from Teardrop. A counterattack on the Planetary, but it is a Planetary. Thank you, David Kim. That's going to get rid of the Zealots. No problem. And that bio on the far line. Ooh, eats a big Storm.
I mean, a lot of Zealots went down to the bio for no return, so the Storm did eventually answer that. This is still 7 Stalkers, 4 High Templar. I mean, as Reality, you're like, please walk into my Storm, please walk into my Storm, please walk into my Storm. Oh no, he gets aggroed by the Libs.
Yeah, that's the Storm there, softening up the bio. The main fight's happening over here. Obviously, if the fight goes well for the Terran, the game will end because all the expensive units of Reality are over here. He's sending in more Liberators. Now, there's so many Liberators. There's like 6 Liberators here, Pig. And they all have +2 attack.
There we go. The fight's going to be forced here. Good pullback on the bio and a spread from Teardrop. Doesn't even stim the bio, and I love that decision. Just kind of spreads the bio out and says, come fight through my Lib zones, mate. The Libs just branching forwards one by one. The Colossus and Stalkers pressed up against the wall. Woo. And that's going to be that. Reality's out of anti-air, is out of units, and Teardrop going to take the first map in this final best of 3.
Really done by Teardrop. Really well done by Teardrop, I should say. And he is on match point and tournament point right now. If he wins this next map and gets the 2-0 victory, that is all done and dusted.
Dude, this is awesome. This has been a great CTL. I once again, guys, please, once again, spam those links in chat. Do me a favor and do that for CTL. If you guys want to join a team, join some of the clans that advertise yourselves, guys. You don't have to be on Unrivaled. You don't have to be on AlphaX. Any clan that plays CTL, advertise your clan in chat right now. Try and twirl that lollipop. Lure some of these amateur players into your into your dark depths.
Sherbet Team League needs to hire some jailbait to promote the league a little bit. But really, it's not jailbait. It's clan bait.
Clan bait, indeed. So
join my clan and play customs with me, you silly gamer boy.
You know what's the funniest is, like, I still occasionally come across people who have this idea that, like, oh, part of a clan or a guild, like, and they think of and it's kind of crazy because it's 2020, but there are still people just due to their life experience who they think you're Sheldon from fucking The Big Bang Theory if you're in a guild or a clan.
Right.
And then, like, you actually meet the people who are much more social gamers, and you're like, you guys have no idea how many fucking real life Chads I've met who are the ones who are like, are just really sociable, play games with their mates, they join clans and guilds. Like, I'm talking, there are some like hilariously unnerdy people to the point where, like, you play StarCraft? You seem like such a fucking bogan alpha type character. This is very surprising.
I mean, that's my whole thing, man. I'm the manliest nerd you'll ever meet. Speaking of manly nerds, Reality in the bottom right, he's down in the series and he's like, all right, time to taste the cannons. To this guy in the top left.
It is, of course, Team Unrivaled's Teardrop. Up one map, needs one more to close out the entire grand finals. Oh, look at this. Look at this disgusting cannon rush. Triple pylon wall off, Teardrop. What's the reaction? Now, with this version, I think you have to pull SCVs immediately, and Teardrop's not doing it, which means Teardrop needs to pull off some fancy shit. I honestly, if you don't pull SCVs immediately, like, you're getting kicked out of your main base. There is no way... Oh. Okay, that was cute. Very cute. Only surface area for 2 SCVs there. Does cancel, gets the gateway down. And I mean, what are you going to do? There's no bunker started. You've got 1 Marine on the way. You're going to try and start 2 bunkers here. I don't know, Teardrop. I don't know, man. This is a little bit too late. You've got to take those pylons down with SCVs. I don't know how the hell he's going to make this work. Nice cancel on the cannon from Reality. Now, keep in mind, there's only 1 probe left. If that goes down, there won't be any more. That other cannon goes down, no cancel. And, oh, okay, where's that Marine? The Marine rallied across the map. Oh, God. This Marine does come home now, but the SCV is getting blasted. That bunker's unable to finish. And, I mean, the Marine's on hold position. The further back bunker is going up, but there's 3 cannons building in range. And 1 Marine, I mean, he's got a Gauss rifle, but that is not enough damage. A second Marine joining that bunker. Is it even going to have time to finish? They want to get the probe, but they can't. Look at that. Reality's probe just hiding back there. A Zealot's almost out. Those cannons are about to finish. Uh-oh, those Marines need to get in that bunker.
Bunker's going to finish up. Tries to target fire the SCV, but the bunker is up, and that is so important here. He's got a lot of hit points on that, trying to target fire down that low hit point bunker. The
Needs more repair.
Helping as well.
Needs more repair. Just 2 SCVs is not going to cut it here. Good focus fire. Reality focuses the repairing SCVs. One of them pops in for safety. You got to repair. You got to repair. You got to repair. Leaving it too late. His teardrop pops the red hit point SCV out. The few of the SCVs even turning to fight. He is going to hang on, but a lot of SCVs going down. This was not a great trade, but you know what? Keeping your main base alive is probably worth it. You got to do anything to survive here as teardrop.
Absolutely. He's just trying to buy time to get up that factory. You need a tech lab factory here to stop not only this cannon rush, but whatever could come next, because this is just part A of Reality's build here.
Oh, the focus fire is so good here from Reality, man. Just keeps hitting these SCVs every time one comes to repair. And it's like, I think at this point, it gets bad, though, for Reality. The probes have not started building until now, properly behind this, still at 15 workers. So I think these last round of cannons is not paying for itself. This is where Teardrop, taking bad trade, suddenly gets an awesome trade. Now, if there was gases already mining behind this, it'd be a different story. But look at that. Another cannon goes down. The Zealot, ooh, if he can take out the red hit point.
Yeah. Nice.
Yep. The gases have just started. The Cybercore's just started.
Oh, this is so greedy.
Oh, he went for the probe. I see. Lost 2 Marines, was that?
Yeah, lost 2 Marines, got the probe, which means that everything being built in the main base is done. Like, there's not going to be any more Protoss stuff in his main. And I got to say, I really like what Teardrop is. Yes, he's down 4 workers. That was a lot of damage. But having a tech lab factory up, I wish this was a Cyclone. With a Cyclone, I feel so much safer against whatever is next, because when you cannon rush like this, your next phase is usually some kind of like... I mean, it's either more cannons, or it's a Stargate, or it's, you know, a couple gateway units, and Cyclone is just a lot more.
No, exactly. I mean, you can go across the map as well. You can harass with a Cyclone. It's a much more flexible unit. Now, don't get me wrong. Tank's still not a bad choice. It's still going to give some safety. But you know what? I know some people are saying Teardrop's way ahead. Some are saying, no, he lost too many SCVs. He's way behind. This is a very even game.
Yeah, it's quite
This is like super even. Like, because there is a Stargate starting. Don't get me wrong. Reality doesn't have a lot he can do for now. But Teardrop, I guess the bank is the advantage for Teardrop right now, but no command center going down. So it looks like Teardrop's locking himself into a 1 base all in. Now, that can be very effective against a Protoss who's also on 1 base. I think for Reality, I'd love to see... Look at this probe. Yep. I was going to say, I want to see a corner base. And this probe going out definitely could take a hidden expansion or some proxy tech. So I feel like right now, that's kind of what you want to do. Stay on 1 base and see if you can get either a hidden expansion. He's actually... Oh, he's scouting for enemy proxies. Not a bad... Okay. Very, very good play.
I think he's looking for a starport. As he knows the factory's in the main, or has a pretty good idea the factory's in the main, and a proxy starport. Like, you get a Liberator out right now, that is super bad news for Reality. Like, if a Liberator hits his main base, it's very, very annoying. But he is going for that Oracle next. There's that Cyclone coming out for Teardrop, and the low ground expansion. So... Again, he is down a couple of workers, but I still like this a lot more for the Terran. The onus is on Reality here to try and find a lot of damage with this Oracle. Well,
it's just that, it's a good position. This is a good position, but this sort of counter push is the sort of thing that can just get shat on. Now, there is something, every Florencio game I see in PvT starts like this, and every time the Terran thinks attacking with 4 Marines with no upgrades and a tank is a good idea. This is never a good idea. This, like, literally an Oracle can kill this. He is so lucky that Oracle wasn't here. It might pay off for Teardrop, but, like, this is such a dangerous little counter. Now that the Cyclone's here, it's suddenly a little bit scarier.
Yeah, there's a shield battery juicing up some of these probes, but there's a lot of DPS here in that Terran army. The Oracle coming across the map now. At home, there is a handful of Marines and not much else. So the Oracle actually could be very, very, very
77 energy as well. That's enough to leave that laser on for a long time. And fully charged, activates maximum laserage. Meanwhile, Pylon's going down in the main base up there. The Oracle not getting as many SCVs as it could, and the Marines are going to come engage it. He's going to need to pull that back. Probes being pulled on Reality's side of the map. Going to go for the surround. The Stalk is coming forward. Lots of probes falling. The Oracle goes down, takes out 2 Marines, but I think that's a good defense by Teardrop. And here we go. The Cyclone looking for a lock-on. Not a good choice. Loses vision.
Oof. And the Stalkers are a little bit quicker there, so they do gun down that Cyclone and clean up the Terran's army. Now, the Oracle did a little bit of damage there, and Reality does hold on. Teardrop wasted a lot of units there, getting a little bit more damage, trying to end the game right away. got what we call a little bit of a boner with that counterattack, but I'd still say he's in a very solid spot.
He's just got to use the waistband trick at this point, Maynard. You know, we saw what happened when he got a little bit excited there and stood up in front of the class to say, yes, miss, I'll answer on the chalkboard how to counter the cannon rush. And I mean, it did okay damage, don't get me wrong. It's just one of these things where you're on such awkward production with just like a couple barracks going. There is still like a few points here where you're fragile. Now, I think what is not working for Reality right now is the fact that there's no DT Shrine, there's no Robo. Building Phoenix, these are not a comeback unit. Like, Phoenix don't bring you back into games from behind. DTs do, Immortals do, Disruptors definitely do. But Phoenix it's good if your opponent gets overly aggressive, but they're never going to give you insane value the way a Disruptor or a DT or an Immortal can. So as Stim and Shields kicks in, as the bio count grows, this is looking better and better for Teardrop. And remember, one game from closing out the CTL season. If this game can become a win for Teardrop, it's going to be huge. Bit of an ambush.
Oh, it certainly is. A little bit of a fight going down here in the south. So those Stalkers taking a little bit of pepper from those Marines.
Yeah, this is the sort of game where... So the reason I was saying this was, you know, even before... It's one of these things where the game's fucked up. It's even if the Protoss has got this mapped out and knows how to play the next steps, but I've got to be critical of Reality's follow-up because the expansion's so late. I mean, I don't think it was bad. It's just that Oracle going down, he lost the big damage dealer, the big utility unit, the thing that could have done massive damage. Obviously, got distracted with the micro at home, and now with Phoenix... It's a hard road back into this game, you know, such a late expand. So if you're going to expand that late, it's really something you got to use big comeback units. And Sentries, Phoenixes, Zealots, I think Reality here under pressure is going for not quite the right units. I mean, when you've got to make up for a big economic deficit like this, you got to go for something that packs a bit more heat. In Reality, trying to kind of consolidate in the macro game, maybe not realizing just how much bio is pumping out of this Terran.
Yeah, the Spire was really a huge problem for him here. It's got Stim, it's got Combat Shield. The only thing he's missing is Medivac support. And if the Medivacs show up with this army, I don't see how Reality stops it. Like you mentioned, Phoenixes just aren't a fighting unit against this. Without splash damage, without Archons, without charge, without shield batteries, it's just an army that will roll straight through you. Yeah,
Guardian Shield and Force Fields on the ramp, of course, can be good. And I like the move out here. It's just like 3 Sentries, 3 Stalkers, and 4 Phoenix doing damage. 3 Zealots unupgraded. Like, got to be perfect. Force Fields. Guardian Shield's good. 1 Force Field's good. You know
nice
what? A
nice
good start to the hold for Reality. Very nicely done.
Yeah, and the Medivacs that popped out for Teardrop aren't boosting across the map either. Could have been really useful here.
Yeah, those Medivacs not here. And this Bioforce, kind of in the previous game, same thing where it's like, wait, this is the bio army you left the base with 2 minutes ago. Like, you need to join everything up at this point. I mean, Teardrop getting massively ahead on the economy though, and that clearly is Teardrop's way of winning TVP. Is like, get the 3rd, get the 4th, get the 1-1, get the 2-2, move to that next stage. Whilst Reality, much more of like a cheeky micro player, is going for +1 armor charge lots. I normally talk about charge lots as comeback units, but it's just the economy deficit's so big that the only way I see this working is if the Phoenix can like pull Widowmine shots into the Marines or something like that.
Yeah. Force Fields have been pretty good for Reality so far, but he is getting a little bit low on that juice. And if Teardrop just swings around and takes the high ground here, what does Reality do, man?
Yeah. Charge is now finishing, but there's only 4 Zealots on the map. There's 3 gateways. It's 3 gateway charge lot. This is not a 3 mineral line saturated scenario. Reality, show us your most perfect Protoss engages. Show us what you got, because you need to fight hard. 1 Widowmine coming forward. Here we go. The fight's going to start. Uh-oh, the Stim comes down. The Widowmine does burrow. Ooh, good pullback here from Reality, but a high-energy sentry goes down so quickly.
Yeah, and the bio is being over-macroed a little bit here from Teardrop. It actually could probably just Stim for the win at this point. He's trying to pull back to that Widowmine, letting it do some of that work there. Gets rid of a couple Zealots.
Yeah, that was a great Widowmine shot.
Scary here.
Great Widowmine shot. Doesn't hit any of the friendly units, and the 6 Gateway's not going to get time to finish. Teardrop just pushing in after that very clutch defense. I mean, that bunker in the main base, it finished with like a second to go. Teardrop, though, barely hangs on, and it looks like he's going to be able to fight back. Is only getting 5 probes, does get cleaned up. Reality still hanging on and fighting. But you know what? 54 SCVs. The 3rd is landed. Hasn't dropped a mule in a little bit, so Teardrop can drop that mule hammer, can transfer SCVs, is building missile turrets to make sure it doesn't die to DTs. This is like, I'm going to call it now. Teardrop's a big game fan. This looks like someone who watches a lot of Big Gabe streams. Such methodical TVP.
Every Terran should be, by the way. So if you're not a fan, start now. That guy will teach you how to do things correctly. He is Mr. Efficiency himself, one of the greatest foreign Terrans to have ever touched the game. And yes, Teardrop did that thing where he's like, okay, how do I lose this game? And he just cut every single opportunity away from Reality to win this game from this point. And Reality flies in, sees what he's got, and that is it. GG.
Show me what you got. GG, well played. I mean, I just want to go back very quickly in the rewind. Of course, massive congrats to Team Unrivaled. Honestly, remember the cannons tried to focus the bunker down, and that bunker finished. The first two bunkers got cancelled, and this last bunker, look at this shit. This was so close, and Reality focus fired it, but it finished. The Marines got in. If that didn't happen, this was game over, and it still almost was game over. I think we can also identify the key point with this cannon rash as about here. I would have loved to see Reality just say, you know what? Any more cannons I build are going to hit this too late. Chrono probes, make gases would have actually been awesome. And transition, right? Because you know he has to repair the bunker. You're going to get to shift click a ton of these SCVs down. And that Zealot, not a bad idea. That's going to go in, finish off any low hit point Zealots. But notice the extra cannons. We're going to see about 1,000 minerals invested extra here from Reality. It's like another cannon, another cannon, another cannon, another cannon. And these last cannons are the ones that don't get the value. Even this cannon still gets some nice value, some good focus fire. But it's the continued commitment. You know what? Sometimes this pays off in a big way. Your opponent's on the precipice, and you manage to push them over and win the game with these extra cannons and this extra Zealot. In this case, it was where Team UR's Teardrop got back in the game, won the 2-0, and brings Team Unrivaled to the championship. That is an awesome series, incredibly close. Glad to see you're all clapping, spamming the PogChamps. GG, well played. Team Unrivaled. Massive shout out to AlphaX for putting up an incredibly good showing. That is an awesome season finals.
And speaking of AlphaX, thank you very much, Camaril, for dropping those 10 gifted subs as well to the pigsty. Well done, mate. Thank you very much for the support.
We've got a good question in chat. Any other good channels in StarCraft 2? I only follow your channel, Pig. What other channels should I follow? Well, there's one that's linked right there in Twitch chat by my Nightbot right now. It says, go and check out Maynarde playing StarCraft 2. Give them a follow, and there's a lovely link. Give him a click. Maynarde, of course, commentating with me. Please, guys, you can actually go over there and slap a sub down. Maynarde, after being up till 2 a.m., woke up nice and early at like 8 or 9 o'clock Adelaide time after like, 5 hours of sleep, probably, if even.
Yeah, and no, like 7. Like, wife Nard wakes me up. She doesn't really give a shit about my schedule. She's like, I'm up at 7, so are you. Get out. And my dog jumps on the bed, licks my face, and I'm up. 4 hours sleep.
Shit.
Yep.
And yet brought the passion nonetheless. So guys, please slap some support down in Maynard's chat, of course. We like to do just the season finals as a little bit of, hey, let's give some spotlight to CTL. But there is a ton of community casters who cast the regular matches. And if the people in there, can you guys please start sharing all of their streams? There's so many people who cast CTL. If you guys could share a bunch of those streams in chat, as well as, of course, we see people sharing their teams. If you want to sign up for the Jobo Team League, the website is linked. Please check it out. Thank you, Camaril, for sharing. That's, of course, the player who we saw in the first match today with the BC Bio domination in map 1. So, yeah, share your links to both people who are community streaming CTL as well as your clans. Get involved. Have some fucking fun. I honestly, I cannot get over the drastic difference between playing hard games in isolation on your own and playing them as part of a community. It's the same thing where, I even think I'm getting back into XCOM. I've started a new campaign. I'm having a lot of fun with XCOM 2 again at the moment. If I had played XCOM 2 without ever going on a Reddit and reading a forum and discussing shit in forums and figuring out some of the stuff, that would be in my this game's shit box, and it's fucking stupid and it's made wrong and it's unfair. But because I actually, went to forums and understood how things worked and saw different perspectives on how you play around the challenges of the game, I love the fact that it is still a frustrating game at times, but it's one of my favorite games of all time. And I think it's the same thing with StarCraft, where the longer you play in isolation without getting anyone else's fresh perspective, without being part of community, you're just going to get angry at shit and not know how to deal it. It's so much easier when you're pissed off, when you could hop in your friend's Discord, your clan Discord, and be like, fucking Cannon Rush is bullshit. and then someone actually hops in and tells you how to defend it. You know, where someone can you can not only vent, but you can also get so much help from your teammates and realize how to solve the unlimited problems that your opponents will throw at you in a game of StarCraft.
Yeah, and there's nothing to be afraid of. The StarCraft community and these people that are in your Twitch chat right now promoting their clans and whatnot, they are not going to judge you for however you want to play or how badly you think you are. Everyone out there thinks that the worst player in StarCraft, and everyone's wrong. You know, I mean, there is actually a worst player in StarCraft out there somewhere, but it's none of you people. All right, you guys watching right now, you have some understanding, you have some interest in the game, you watch the tournaments. There is nothing to be afraid of. You have a support network of people out there that are just waiting for you to join their clan to get you better at the game. And nothing gets you better at the game quicker than being part of a clan, because it makes you want to play more StarCraft, and playing more StarCraft is how you get better. So get her done. Join.
Get her done. Thank you, everybody who's enjoyed this live on Twitch and is showing support as well. Those of you watching on YouTube, sign up. Links are down below in the description. So check it out. We appreciate the support. Thank you very much. Have a good night.